Welcome back to another episode of CreepCast. Today we are talking about 1999, the creepypasta. Also, it's known as either Caledon Local 21 or Mr. Bear Cellar.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So,
right.
1999, one of the classic internet creepypastas. It's gone on to inspire a lot of other internet horror stories and things like that, as I'm sure you'll pick up on as you read through it. But this is one of the OGs. If I remember right, the first post was made in 2009, and it was continued to be updated until 2011. Although it had its big resurgence around like 2013, 2014, when a bunch of horror YouTubers started to make like audio videos about it. People like Mr. Creepypasta, Creeps Mix Pasta, and stuff like that. So 1999 has definitely like inserted itself into the quote-unquote important early creepypasta works.
Yeah, that cultural zeitgeist of just like pivotal early internet horror stories.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. It was 2009 is very early.
Yes, yeah. It's one of the earliest ones. I remember this being one of the first ones I heard about when I started like getting into it myself. And there's good reason. It's a very interesting story that I, of course, am not familiar with at all.
Yeah, as is per usual. Actually, I feel like it has to be a continuous theme here. I have never heard of this. I don't know what this is. So once again, going in blind. If anything, this is all it is. It's like basically internet horror historian and then random man off the street is what this podcast is become.
Hey, well, you get to enjoy all of it for the first time. Now, I will say with this episode, I'm actually not familiar with 1999, so this will be this will be an interesting episode for me, I think. So I'm definitely excited to see how this one goes. So I'm interested as well. I'm right there with you.
I'm stoked. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. Which it starts off by saying, in quotes, "The year is 1999.
Let's go. I'm so excited. Also, to everyone who is here, remember to keep doing the thing you're doing on audio platforms, because more people keep finding us over there, and that's pretty cool. So if you want to keep that up, thanks. If not, well, I don't care.
I just like when people listen to us regardless, but the audio platforms on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, the numbers have been awesome, and we've been seeing a lot of positivity there. So if you want to go give us a listen there and give us a nice little rating and stuff, it means the world to us.
Absolutely. Mwah. You all are fantastic.
Hugs and kisses.
Sometimes I'll be talking in Hunter about the show and stuff, and Hunter's like, I just can't stand, these people who watch our videos and talk about us and make edits of us and stuff. I just wish I could grab their tender little necks and just break them and it'd just be over. And I'm like, no, these people, they're important to me, and you all really are. So I appreciate that.
It's true. And I want to say to all of which actually I want to clarify and say, I did not say any of that.
Yeah,
I say
he said it's true. You heard him. He said it. He said it.
No. All of the fan edits and stuff have been really, really funny. And we want to say, I check out the Reddit and stuff and see all of the memes going on there and all the different kinds of edits too. And it's really, really, really cool to see. So I look forward to all of them. So please keep making them and making my belly jiggle with laughter.
Yes, and I'm not going to add the part about making his belly jiggle because that feels weird, but keep making me laugh in a normal way.
1999 too is this is peak Limp Bizkit. So if at some point there is some kind of Limp Bizkit reference, I'm going to be very, very excited.
I will say this has nothing to do with 1999, but one time I was reading, I think I read it it was for a video. It was this online ARG called the Hypnagogic Archives, and there's a part where characters in whatever year Smash Mouth's Astro Lounge came out. So it's whatever the characters in whatever year that is, and he's like, reminds me of the hit song All Star by Smash Mouth like, midway through the story. So I'm sure we'll have a moment like that in this story. Don't you worry.
Yeah, it's like the guy wrote it and he was like, this is a timeless reference.
This will never ever
age. Bop forever.
It certainly won't wind up in a popular DreamWorks film and ruin its reputation forever.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get into it. I'm so ready. Let's begin.
I am too, man.
The year is 1999. That sentence brings me back to my senior kindergarten class when I was 5 years old, where we used to read out the date on the blackboard every single day. The year 1999 exists as a stain in my mind. However, as a memory that will not go away no matter how I try to forget it. 1999 marked the year I lost my first tooth, my first time on a plane, and unfortunately, the early loss of my childhood innocence. The one memory that refused to be wiped, it all started with that new or old TV. At the time, Pokemon was the latest fad to hit the school. Pokemon cards, games, stickers, and the most popular, the TV show. So, of course, every time I came home from school, I would stay glued to the TV until Pokemon came on at 5. The only problem was that my dad watched the news at 5:30, and Pokemon episodes were back to back, which meant I had to miss an episode every day, something I whined on and on about. My dad got tired of hearing me complain every day. That must be why he went and bought another TV. My dad put the TV he bought in my room. Unfortunately, it was just an old, small boob tube, with rabbit ears even. It also only had 20 channels available, not including the channel Pokemon was on. I recall I didn't care though. I was just thrilled I had my own TV in my room. After surfing through the channels, I came to the conclusion that only channel 2, TVO Kids, was worth watching, so I watched that for a while. It wasn't for another few months until I discovered channel 21. One day in April, I was flipping through the channels, trying to see if Pokemon was on. I pressed channel 21 into the remote, hoping there were more channels. And to my delight, there was. My dad was surprised too, but he let me watch it because it seemed to have kids programs on. The channel was called Caledon Local 21, and later I found out it was indeed broadcasted from the town of Caledon, Ontario, a town very close to my city. The shows I saw on Caledon Local 21 looked poorly made, and I never understood what was going on in them half the time. However, as I grew up, every time I thought of that channel, I realized more and more how messed up the shows were, and I had to ask myself, oh, this is a quote. Do you want to do the quote?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I want to take it from you.
What the fuck was I watching?
Thank you. There's not a ton of quotes in this story,
Yes.
so I don't want to rob you of that moment. Of course.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And then after that, we get into our first show. But so far, what do you think of it? How are you feeling?
I mean, it feels similar to that Channel Zero thing, kind of about like some kind of show or some kind of like archetype where children are watching some kind of various programs, and it's a lot more fucked up than what they remembered, or even like as kids, it might have messed with them. It's kind of the direction I'm going, but I'm not sure.
It reminds me, like premise-wise, it reminds me a lot of Candle Cove.
There you go, Candle Cove. Yep, because that was the whole thing. That was like the pirate one, right?
Yes, yeah. The whole thing is that all these kids remember a show, but then their parents are like, "Oh no!" Whenever you were staring at the TV, it was just static. And like the end twist is that the television was like transmitting these signals straight to them. That one's written by Chris Straub, and he's like one of the Mount Rushmore heads of early internet horror. So like I think he's incorporated it into some of his other writings and stuff like that. But yeah, the core premise of the original Candle Cove story reminds me a lot of 1999.
I even just like the theme of like coming home from school and wanting to watch something. Obviously, we haven't gotten into it, but I like the idea of like it's a very intimate moment, or like that. Even I remember that coming home, and it's like your kind of like ritual that you do, and like the relationship between you and these shows is something where it's like therapeutic, cathartic, all kinds of different feelings, and then to kind of put that twist, it's just fun.
Yeah,
I always just like that, but I'm stoked.
I agree. All right, so let's get into the first one. April 1999, Mr. Bear's Cellar, episode 12. Very sketchy name if you were to look at it nowadays. The show featured a guy wearing a bear mascot costume who would get a new visitor into his cellar every day.
Oh, God. God. Good Lord. Oh, no, and not the next abbreviations.
Here we go, Hunter. Are you ready?
I guess so, dude. Good Lord.
It was always a kid.
Always a kid, huh?
It's always a kid. So here we go. The train, the Baraska train is in station once again.
God.
It was always a kid. The show was filmed with a camcorder, and not a very good one either. The police asked me a lot of questions about this show. This episode started with Mr. Bear sitting at a table playing checkers by himself. He sat there playing for a bit until there was a knock on the door. The camera was then looking up the stairs at the door, where there was another knock. Mr. Bear climbed the stairs and opened the door to reveal two young children. One was a boy about my age, and the other was a girl who looked about 8. Mr. Bear danced in delight, and then started talking to the kids. I couldn't hear any of them that well. I remember Mr. Bear then led the kids into the cellar, which was quite dark, only lit by a small oil lamp on the table. I can't really remember that much more, except him singing a song which I couldn't hear too well either, probably because of the large bear mask. The episode ended with them playing hide and seek, with the kids hiding in a closet and Mr. Bear counting.
Oh my lord.
How you feeling?
Oh my lord. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That kind of, I was like, I got a bad taste in my mouth. I felt a little something crawl up my spine there. You know what it immediately made me think of aesthetically was like the Poughkeepsie tapes. Like that
yes, kind of yeah, the Poughkeepsie tapes. It's like
the very infamous one where it's like it's like the guy crawling down the steps in the basement and stuff, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Also, how cryptically vague everything is. Also, it's like recalling these things. It feels like it's like recalling a dream or something. It's just ugh. We don't know the intentions yet, you know what I mean? And it makes it so much worse.
That's one of the most effective parts about the story to me, is that, like, it's all relayed through just what the kids saw. So all of the intentions and things like that, you're kind of left to ponder with yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's something so menacing about that ending, too, that they were playing hide and go seek, and the kids were hiding in the closet with Mr. Bear counting. It's like what happens, you know, after the cameras go off, right? If that's where the episode ended.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing that caught me was one sentence there, which is just the police asked me a lot of questions about this show. Just that one little thing right there of like introducing a whole other story element of like, okay, obviously there's some kind of investigation going and like other people must have heard about this thing. You know what I mean? Like it adds like a whole new layer of intrigue, or just like another layer of depth to the story, which I think is just really cool.
Yeah.
But also too, just Mr. Bear, you know, obviously the child aesthetic mixed with horror is as old as time itself, but still just the idea of an adult, what I'm assuming is an adult in a bear suit doing this, is just fucking mortifying.
Yeah. I should also mention, for you to suffer even more, there's been a bunch of people on YouTube in the years since this got popular who have made videos of all of this happening. So it's like an actual camcorder footage of a guy in a bear suit like running around with kids and stuff like that, and it's exactly as awful as you could imagine.
Oh well dude, that kind of like leads perfectly into the somebody sent Isaiah or Wendigoon the Ted the Caver, the Ted's Caving Journal thing.
Yes, yeah. So
we just wanted to give him a shout out too, and we'll put his link to his channel in the videos. But it is unbelievable, so good.
Yeah. So this dude, I haven't watched it yet because I'm going to watch it on stream. I'm saving myself for the stream audience. But this guy showed up in one of my live streams and said, "Hey, I heard your all's episode you did over on Papa Meat about Ted the Caver, and I decided to make it into a series. And the series looks fantastic." So yeah, dude, really cool that he did that. We'll throw it down in the description. But yeah, love seeing creativity like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, let's keep moving on.
Yeah. Keep rocking with it. But before we continue with the show, I want to take a quick moment to thank today's sponsor, Aura. If you're anything like me, then you've probably used your name, address, email address, and password all over the internet without thinking much of it. And while sure, that can certainly make life easy, it also makes it easy for bad people to get away with doing bad things with your information. I mean, recently, AT&T revealed that over 73 million customer records were just released onto the dark web. And all the things they recommend to keep that from happening, like monitoring your account or strong passwords or fraud alerts, are all taken care of by Aura. Aura will expose identity brokers who are using your information and automatically submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Anytime you use your information online, there's a chance that some of that data can fall into the hands of telemarketers or robocallers or some other kind of scam. And these data brokers that hold onto that information are legally required to lose it if you ever ask them to. However, the process to do so is very convoluted and tricky because that's how the scam works. But Aura is here to throw a wrench in that. Aura scours the web to see if any of your information has fallen into the wrong hands, and with the click of a button, you can say that you want the scammer to lose your information, and Aura will do the hard part and submit the opt-out request on your behalf. Not only will this make your identity more secure, but it will also opt you out of things like telemarketer calls or junk mail lists. Aura even monitors your email and passwords to see if they were a part of a data breach, and then gives you advice on what to do from there. When I first started using Aura, I found out that my personal email had been a part of a data broker scam since 2022. And thanks to Aura, I was able to get that cleared up all at once. So, as a personal endorsement, thank you, Aura, for not making me go on whatever journey that was about to be. On top of that, the Aura app has a VPN, a password manager, real-time credit and identity theft monitoring, and it even protects your devices from malware. The Aura app even has family tools, like preventing harmful websites from popping up and monitoring screen time. Aura is pretty much every internet safety tool you could ever need in one app. The internet can be a good thing, especially when you use your time on the internet to support whatever harebrained scheme I come up with. So let Aura be your shield from those who want to make something bad out of all the good. And right now, there's never been a better time to get in on this offer. That's because if you head to the link in the description at aura.com/creepcast, you'll be able to try Aura for 2 weeks absolutely free. That is right, 14 days of Aura for free. Sadly, you're probably going to be surprised by all the information they find of yours just out there on the internet. But with Aura, you can get that taken care of, and with the offer in the description, you can give them 2 weeks to prove themselves. Again, that's head to aura.com/creepcast to get in on this fantastic internet defense tool today. Thank you all so much for watching the ad. Thank you so much to Aura for sponsoring the show. It really does mean the most. Hope you all check them out. Link is in the description, and we are back to the episode. May 1999. Soup and Spoon. I don't think this was even a show. I think it was more of a special movie thing. All I know is I stopped watching Khaled on Local 21 for a while because I thought this show was too stupid, especially since Pokemon now came on at 4:30 and 5. I don't remember much of this, but it showed a can of soup and a spoon both attached to strings, swinging back and forth, as if someone was holding them and dangling them in front of the camera. Interestingly enough, the show was shot in a basement, which looked just like the one used in Mr. Bear's cellar. Like I said, I can't remember much. The only thing I can remember clearly was the end. The entire thing was only half an hour, and just included stuff I found stupid, such as the spoon chasing the soup around, trying to eat him. The ending showed a table and about 7 kids sitting around it, each with a bowl of soup in front of them. They were sitting and looking at the camera, but with confused, almost frightened faces. The cameraman then yelled at the can of soup in front of the kids and said,
"Spoons ready?"
And then it just stopped.
Interesting. Well, it's definitely setting up a theme here of obviously some kind of child abduction thing, but obviously like this weird 30-minute like puppet show is almost how I would describe that, right? With like the spoon and the soup, a weird puppet show. I do like the line, I thought the show was too stupid, especially since Pokemon now came on at 4:30 and 5. You know, like a kid just looking at this, he's like, what the hell is this? What the this is dumb. He goes in the living room and watches Ash, a 12-year-old boy, like tackle Scyther or something like that. He's like, now, this is awesome. Now, this is what I need to be watching.
I think it's pretty... It works for me because a lot of the times, you know,
totally.
With a story, you're trying to find ways to hide information from the characters, and have it just being a kid who like wasn't interested because he didn't realize how off-putting what he was looking at was. And instead, he just wanted to watch Pokemon, so that makes sense why he only saw some of it one time, right? It works. It works for the story.
It does. And I mean, I think the entire, like, one thing that's been really effective so far is just these really strong, like, last 3 or 4 sentences of each of these descriptions. Like, the ending showed a table and about 7 kids sitting around it, each with a bowl of soup in front of them. Just, it's so simple, but just so, like, unsettling. So just eerily unsettling.
It's one of the, like, I don't know how much of it was intentional on the author's part. I think a lot of it, but sometimes I feel like even the quick delivery of the sentences, like how immediate they are, like it's very factual from the kid's point of view, goes to better serve the idea it's a kid who's not really processing what he was looking at. Because, like, if you or I found a local television show that was, like, in a basement with children, it would immediately be, like, red alert. But the kid just kind of watched it and was bored by it, it's so menacing.
Well, I mean, I'm even thinking about if I was a kid, I'd probably do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be looking at, like, my Dragon Ball Z DVD thing and being like, why the fuck am I watching this stupid shit? I could be throwing this in my PS2 and just, like, living La Vida Loca, you know what I mean? Like, but especially, that's just, like, the mind, that's just, like, the interesting thing of, like, the mind of a child, where it's just like you don't have those like those like actual being able to process like shit that you're seeing. It's just like all surface level, so you're just like, well, this is boring, but you don't understand like how even to the extent to where it's like, why would you ever bring it up to your parents? You know what I mean? Oh, that show's stupid, you know? Well, why
would you tell an adult
a puppet show? Yeah, exactly.
I also think to me that's one of the most frightening concepts you can do in horror, not just like involving kids, but specifically involving like your memories around childhood. Like, did those things that happened to you actually happen the way you think you did, or are you just misremembering?
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean,
that messes with me a lot.
Yeah, and I think the idea that it's like you can't even trust yourself in your own narrative, I think is extremely disturbing. Extremely disturbing. It's like especially like dementia. Like me getting dementia when I'm older, which I know it's going to happen, and I'm very bummed about it. I can feel it. I think like it's the idea that it's like you can't even remember, or you're losing track of your own self, or you can't even trust yourself is so frightening.
Yeah.
It looks interesting here too, because that went from April, May, and the next one's in July, so he skipped a month.
Yeah,
the time is becoming a bit more sporadic.
Yeah, so these are like his memories of like, I remember this from April, I remember this from May, so now it's what he remembers from July. So the next one, July 1999, he says, it was summer, and I hadn't watched Channel 21 for a while, until one day when I slept over at my friend's house, and I decided to check it out again. My friend had gotten a TV in his room for his 6th birthday, so we stayed up very late. For us, 9:30 was very late, and watched TV. That's when I remembered Channel 21 and brought it up to my friend. We decided to see if it was on, and to our surprise, it was. They must have changed the broadcasting time. Now, a couple things to mention here. For one, 6, way too young to just have an unrestricted TV.
Yeah. Well, do you think so in the era before internet's really readily available? I mean, but before this time, people that had their own TVs and stuff, I mean, like, it was probably like, oh, you just can't have like a VCR or something to like watch bad movies or something. But even then, it's like, what was going to be on TV? You know what I mean? I'm just
I'll give you that in 1999 having a TV that showed like local PBS or whatever was very
especially
different. Because nowadays kids are going to
channels.
find CreepCast and going to find, you know, us talking about like child abductions
all kinds
and whatnot,
of crazy shit.
Yeah, we can't be having that.
Also here too, I just want to say that it's interesting where he said earlier that the broadcasting was from 4 to 9, and then he's like 9:30. Oh, they must have changed the broadcasting time.
Yeah.
No, I think it's definitely just whenever you flip it on, it's gonna be there for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So this.
Oh shit! It's another Mr. Bear seller. God damn it.
Anyway,
I don't like that.
They must have changed the broadcasting time. Mr. Bear Seller. This was episode 23. This episode was entertaining for my friend and me, mainly because it had swearing. However, now when I think of this episode, I realized something was definitely wrong when it was filmed. The episode started with the camera on its side, while it was facing Mr. Bear, who was walking upstairs to the cellar door. The camera then blacked out for about a second before fading in, back upright, and facing Mr. Bear. There was also another kid talking to him, but this kid looked about 11 or 12. He was talking to Mr. Bear for a while, but I couldn't hear well, again with the crappy camcorder, until the kid started raising his voice. The kid was saying how it was late and his sister had to go home. You could also hear more voices in the background. I remember Mr. Bear clearly saying,
Get the fuck out. You're not invited.
With the deep voice muffled by the bear mask. I remember my friend and I looking at each other and laughing at the mention of the forbidden F word, but the episode got weirder. The kid began climbing the stairs before turning around and saying how he was going to call the police. Mr. Bear began breaking into a run towards the kid, who started screaming and running as well. The camera then cut out, and that was the end of the episode. The channel then turned to static shortly after.
I want to say that even if I was a kid and I heard someone say fuck, because, you know, I like the South Park movie and all that kind of stuff from back in the day, if I saw this, I would be horrified. Horrified as a child. To think, like, this thing is just like, get the fuck out of here, you're not invited! And the kids are like, it's so weird to me, dude.
I will say this.
That is so creepy.
I will say this. Do you think a 6-year-old could be young enough that they wouldn't process, they would still just see a funny bear costume, right? Maybe. Is 6,
no, that's a good point.
The edge of, like, realizing this is weird? I don't know.
Sure. I think kids are smart enough to read body language or to understand that, like, one of the people in the room is clearly upset. I think that it does a good job about it, though, by saying that, like, all the audio is muffled or it's, like, hard to hear. But I still think I'm trying to think about, like, I feel like I would just be kind of creeped out, I think, because it's kind of like, it is a big bear and it's saying it, like, if it was like saying, just because I don't know, it's hard to say. 6 is very young. It's hard to know.
I'll say
you're
this.
just so disassociated from it. Maybe I don't know.
I forget where it was, but the other day I heard the line: the scariest thing that happens when you're a kid is when an adult suddenly gets very serious. And that always did freak me out. So maybe, if that is kind of maybe the tick kids are looking for to get afraid, maybe the bear costume's hiding that, you know? Maybe they can't tell.
Like they can't, like, actually read its body language because it has just, like, a giant mask on.
Yeah. Now, I will say, the image... oh my gosh!
Here we go, dude. I love it. Every episode.
Shut up!
Every episode.
He already... I wasn't thinking about it. I'm busy! I am working, honey.
Every time, dude.
Anyway.
It's Mr. Bear, run!
Shut up. I can't work under these conditions. Okay.
I'm freaking out.
I'm freaking out right now. All right. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, scared kids. Yeah.
I will say, too, that this is like, I really love this setup with the basement thing. Just as like a visual,
absolutely
like
terrifying.
Visualizing it in my head. Like even that last one in July, the idea that the camera is like starting off on its side, like there was some kind of tussle is what I would assume that it's saying, right?
Yeah.
Like there was some kind of struggle or something and the tripod fell over. Mm-hmm. So good. And also, I don't know, are you picturing the basement? I'm picturing the basement with like kind of like almost like not dirt floors, but like that really shitty like cracked cement.
Yep.
Maybe like one light. It's kind of dimly, really old.
You
wooden
can hear the
stairs
constant like low echo of the underground.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. It's like I'm so in on this bear cellar vibe.
Yeah.
It's so creepy.
It works pretty well. And like, man, that image of him running up the stairs at the kid. Oh. Gosh,
horrible.
Terrifying.
Especially just because of how fucking goofy a grown adult looks running in those giant ass suits.
Yeah.
You know, his legs are kind of bowed because he can't just like run regular. So it's just even more cartoonish and weird. And and the kid even screams and runs away himself. And also, to not keep dragging this on this part, but also whenever he says get the fuck out, you're not invited, assumes that there's more people off screen who are like waiting on this quote unquote like party that he's throwing or something. Mm-hmm. Weird.
Mr. Bear's party.
Mr. Bear Cellar.
August 1999. I didn't want to watch Channel 21 after that. In August, I grew more conscious to see Mr. Bear's Cellar for some reason, though. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I was laughing over you singing the song.
You're all scared now.
I'm all riled. You done got me riled. All right. In August, I grew more curious to see Mr. Bear's Cellar for some reason, though. The last episode I saw of Mr. Bear was weird and had swearing, which also made me think the show was meant for teenagers. Nonetheless, I flipped onto channel 21 when my dad was busy. That's also profoundly sad, how a kid sees how messed up that is and be like, oh, this must be for the bigger kids, right? Like, he doesn't get how messed up it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Bear's Cellar, episode 28. Apparently, this episode had been playing the entire month of August. It was studied a lot by the police. The entire episode was just Mr. Bear sitting in a chair talking to the audience.
Hello, kids. Do you want to visit my cellar? If you do, please write me a letter at this address.
The screen then switched to a white screen with multicolored letters reading the address, and that was what remained for the rest of the episode. This repeated for 5 hours every day until September came. And guess what I actually did? I sent Mr. Bear, or that sick bastard who portrayed him, a letter. I did it out of curiosity mostly. My dad was okay with it because he thought it was a legit kids show. But then again, he never saw any of what was on channel 21. So I wrote a letter using my best writing possible. I think I just said how I wanted to meet Mr. Bear. So my dad sent the letter to the address Mr. Bear said on the show. It stayed on all day anyway for some reason. It took about a week to get a response, which I was surprised I did. I still have the letter I received on August the 15th, 1999. The letter read,
Dear Elliot, thank you ever so much for your letter. I would love to have you in my cellar. We play games, watch movies, and go fire camping in the middle of the woods. Come to my house at,
The police cut out this address.
Caledon, Ontario, Canada. I look very forward to having fun with you. Love, Mr. Bear.
I cannot believe my dad never found this sketchy, because he actually took me to the house. And
What? 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 What the fuck? What are you saying? Oh my god! Time out! Time out, Isaiah! Time out, please, God!
Hold on.
My word! I'm trying to wrap my head around that. He actually took you to the house. Okay, just keep going, and then we're almost done with this one, and we can actually see. I'm so curious to see.
And that's when the police became involved. Those endless questions, those pictures of terrified kids, the woods. That brings me to why I'm writing this blog. That psycho and his friends did some screwed up shit back then, and now it seems he's trying to get into contact with me again. The entire police thing is coming back. That has brought 1999 back to me. Over a decade later, it is happening again.
Oh. Ooh. So now he's going to be 16 in the update here. I will say, okay, my God. My God. Talk about, get this child away from this dad, by the way.
Hold on. Let's frame it, right? Because we know what's happening, but he said specifically his dad never saw the station, right? So a 6-year-old
He never saw the station, but he is led to believe, sorry to cut you off, he is led to believe that he has read that thing, right? As an adult, if I got a letter in the mail from a TV studio, presumably an adult, and it said, Dear Elliot, thank you ever so much for writing a letter. I would love to have you in my cellar. We play games, watch movies, and go fire camping in the middle of the woods. Come to my house. What? It's like the dad's just like, oh, I don't give a fuck. Where do you need to go? What's the address? All right, I'll plug it in. I don't give a shit. Sure. Yo, Elliot, get your bag. We're going. He's like, he wants him out of the house. Yeah, I got TV to watch. That's why I bought that TV, so I could watch my shows. Unbelievable, dude. Even if you've never seen it, I'd be like, no. Who gave? We're not. You want to go to a cellar? We're going to. It doesn't even say come to the studio. It says come to my house. He's like, yeah, that seems that probably makes sense. That's where Jerry Seinfeld he films all those episodes in his apartment, so that makes sense. Unbelievable, dude. And then to have the gall afterwards, where it's like he actually took me to the house. You're like, what? And then it says, and that's when the police became involved, is the next sentence, dude. The next thing that is said is that That's when the police became involved. Come on!
The police were there to arrest his dad for pranking him.
They should have. They should have. Sir, this is child neglect. He's like, I didn't know what was going on. I just took, my son tells me to take him somewhere. I take him. I don't think about it. I just take him.
I was looking for my dog Whip. He's around here.
I was like, there's endless questions, and also here this paragraph ends with those pictures of terrified kids, the woods. ... Arrest the dad immediately. Is all I have to say. That is unbelievable. Which I do want to say, regardless of how terrible the fucking dad is I like the little, over a decade later, it's still happening. I love that little, that little, dangling the carrot.
So, actually, I believe, if I recall right, everything we just read was the original post. And then everything we read from here on was updates he did in the following months. So, everything we just read was where the original story ended.
Okay, but the first one was still posted in 2009, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and this was just him updating. Okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so the next log, ladies and gentlemen, isn't until November 14th of 2009. So it literally is almost exactly.
I need to run
later.
slight. Okay, we don't have the name of the child, I don't think, but the author's name's Camden Lamont, so I'm going to call the child Camden. I'm going to run slight interference for Camden's dad. Okay.
No, it's Elliot. It's Elliot.
Oh, he did have a name. All right, I'm stupid.
Yeah, because
Elliot.
the bear, he wrote the child, the 6-year-old child.
Dear Elliot, you're right. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm dumb. Okay, so I'm gonna run slight interference.
I cannot wait to hear this defense, dude.
Okay. Hear me out, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The father has not watched the program, correct?
Yeah.
He has just heard his kid like, oh, I watched this show about Mr. Bear and he plays with kids or whatever, right? He thinks that's all it is. It's a local show, right? Which means it's somewhere around the region. So the kid's like, hey, can I send a letter to this TV show? And dad's like, sure. So he sends a letter. Letter comes back. And yes, while I will admit to the jury that the word seller is weird and that probably should have raised an eyebrow, he's also heard that the TV show is called Mr. Bear's Cellar. So, say it was Elmo's Playhouse, right? If the letter said, I want you to come to my playhouse, that would seem normal. The dad didn't send his child in that direction. He was there with him. Like, the dad's like, all right, we'll check it out. And he walks up with his son, and then the police become involved. Maybe the dad saw something. Maybe the police were already there. Who knows? But again, I will have that slight caveat about it.
I just want to say that I have to question now if you yourself are Mr. Bear, because that's what that defense sounded like. Because I want to say that, sure, he's never seen the show. If I would have sat there, let's say I've never seen Dragon Ball Z, and my kid says,
oh, it's a show about fighting. They power up.
Sure, right? Go to Master Roshi's island, he says. I'm like, well, that's a weird thing. And then it says, the next line says, come to my house? At what point would I be like, that's kind of weird. It's shot in a house. Well, yeah, I guess. I also think it's being presumptuous that you said that he's like, because with how neglectful he's been so far, I would almost assume this 90s father is just waiting in the car. All right, I'll be here. Have fun.
Hunter,
get on in there.
Hunter, those are gruesome allegations, and I don't stand for it myself.
All I'm saying is I don't. Yeah, I believe at some point, and someone will probably pull up this image, I could have sworn that I've seen you with some kind of giant teddy bear mask on, and I don't know. I don't know. Also, you are rushing to the defense of of this extremely quickly.
I don't know what you're talking about. The defense of what? I just think that he's a good father who's looking out for his... He just wants his son to have a good time, okay? That's all I'm saying.
All right. We'll see where this goes, Mr. Bear. We'll see where it goes.
All right.
That's gonna be your new nickname, dude. No longer are you Win the Goo to my eyes. You are literally Mr. Bear, is how I see this. Also, you talked about how you seen dead bodies in real lives and stuff. Dude, Mr. Bear. Mr. Bear!
Okay. I know I'm a YouTuber, but that doesn't mean I'm a pedophile. Let's get that clear. I know those two often intersect. But
Ugh.
my line in the sand.
Oh, God.
All right. No. Update 1. November 14th, 2009. People have been emailing me asking what exactly happened in 1999. I'll get to that. Those weird TV shows I was watching apparently were meant to attract kids to Mr. Bear's house. What Mr. Bear did shocked the entire town. My dad actually drove me to Caledon along with the address Mr. Bear left on the letter. The house was actually in the outskirts of the town, in the open farmland. I still remember that house. It looked like an older farmhouse that looked to have been built in the early 1900s. The windows were all boarded up, and the house looked in a state of disrepair. As we walked up to the house, I remember my dad checking the address over and over again and looking at the house in disbelief. Then the door opened. I'm sorry, did you have something you wanted to add?
I just can't believe that.
What?
The entire house is boarded up, and the dad's like, "Is this the right? Is this right? Okay, well, I guess we'll go in."
Yo, is this where Kimber's funeral is?
Hey, is this where Mr. Bear's cellar's at? Yes, this is where Kimber's
mom. Is this where Kimber's
Yeah.
mom's funeral?
Yeah.
Yo, they got sandwiches in here.
Yeah. Oh, yo. Yes.
Okay. Anyway, the door opened. I expected Mr. Bear to be at the door, but I was surprised to see a police officer emerge from the creaking doorway.
Marcus.
Oh, yeah, Marcus, yeah. So what are you, some kind of Mr. Bear hunter?
I heard there's a big anamorphic bear walking around here.
Just all the story. It's just
all of them just
falling in
combined.
on each other.
All right, I'll stop. I'm sorry.
Oh, look,
I'll
there
stop.
goes Whip. Oh, look at that. That's
Yeah. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, do we take a ride up here, Bristol? I just,
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on, before we go in the house, let me check my Facebook account. I got a message from my dead girlfriend.
Yeah, my dead girlfriend keeps messaging me on Facebook. All right, no, we're good. No messages. All right.
Wait, what's that? Are those giant chicken eggs on the porch? I hope the eyeless lady didn't leave those here. Okay. I'm good. I think that's all of them. I think
that's all of them, yeah.
References. Oh, wait, be careful. There's some stairs in those woods. So.
Yeah, there you go. Now we've officially hit them
Now
all,
we're
yeah.
good. Yeah, all right. I expected Mr. Bear to be at the door, but I was surprised to see a police officer emerge from the creaking doorway. The officer began talking to my dad, while I quickly asked if that was Mr. Bear's house. The officer's face cringed slightly, and he muttered,
Oh, God.
"Did you have to do that in the Wabbit season voice?"
It's just a regular.
Oh God.
You can now
Is that better?
Oh
Now
God.
imagine that stupid. You know, I'm glad they took that video down. 'Cause now
Hey, come on,
imagine
man.
that stupid
Hey,
rabbit
come on.
in a police
Hair
officer's
card.
uniform. We are gonna get through this paragraph. Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Or something like that. He started talking quietly to my dad so I couldn't hear, although my dad told me to go to the car anyway. And then we just went home. My dad was quiet the whole way home. I felt something strange had happened. My dad never told me what happened for a while. I forgot about it anyway, too. Channel 21 no longer came on, and when I asked about it, my dad would not acknowledge its existence. I think it was when I was 13 where I learned the truth. I remember Channel 21 one day and asked my dad about it. I guess he finally decided I should hear the truth. Caledon Local 21 was a local TV channel that ran from October of 1997 to August of 1999 in the Peel region of Ontario. The entire channel was made from a house in Caledon, the one I visited, and run by a man who was not really known by anyone in the town. The channel was only available to older TVs because the signal was one only picked up by rabbit ears or weaker frequency. The man created all the shows on the channel, all of which were kids shows. He was Mr. Bear, and he was the mysterious cameraman. The real reason he created the channel was more disturbing than what was originally thought. As you might have already guessed, he kidnapped kids and held them in a cellar. But while most people thought he was a serial child molester, he really wanted to use the kids for another purpose. The day I arrived, The man had fled his house the night before. The day before, the police went in for their investigation. I wasn't the only one who was watching.
Interesting. So they haven't even caught him.
No, he's still out there somewhere.
Yeah, he's still out there somewhere. Ooh, the weird thing, too, of what do you think his other purpose was?
I don't know, man. It could really be anything. What do you think it was?
I don't know. I can't tell if it's veering into, like, child sacrifice, maybe? Of some sort. I'm trying to think of, like, a seller and that kind of thing. Really, there hasn't been that much. I mean, obviously, I literally thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be, like, a molestation, murder kind of thing, but the another purpose makes me think that there's something. It just feels a bit more cryptic to where it's like I'm not sure. I mean, like my immediate other go-to is like, oh, sacrificial purposes of some sort, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll continue. There's another update.
So his thing too here is that he updated it. So it jumped from August of 99 to November 14th, 2009. So has he been the consistent age the entire time has he just been our narrator that's 16?
Yeah.
And this is him now in real time?
He's been our, because that
it?
original post, I'm not sure what date it was made, but it was in 2009. So it's him at 16 talking about the story, like what he saw as a kid, and now it's him updating after the first post was out.
Okay.
So our next post is December the 2nd, 2009. Update 2. Sorry for not answering any questions for so long. I haven't accessed my email account for some time. Anyway, let me finally set things straight about what I know. Back in October, I visited the house previously owned by the man who ran Caledon Local 21. 2 women lived there, operating a daycare business. How ironic. Now, to answer the questions you guys emailed to me. Question 1. Who else watched Caledon Local 21? I know other people watched it for sure, including those kids who wound up at Mr. Bear's house. After some Google searches, I found a few people on the Neo Seeker forums who were discussing shows from Caledon Local 21. They talked about the 2 shows I watched, but also another 2 shows I'd never seen before. A user named I Am Real Life seemed to know all the shows that were broadcasted on Channel 21. Here are the 2 I've never heard of. 1. The Fallen Angel in Life. I Am Real Life described it as a fairly boring show about a guy rambling on and on in front of the camera about how we must please Satan and appease him before it's too late. And second show, Paint with a Soul, I Am Real Life and another user called Siggy92 were discussing this show. They described it as Blair Witch-like, as it consisted of the cameraman wandering around the forest at night, doing nothing particularly interesting. I'll go looking for the conversation and see if I can get the link. How do you feel after that first question?
Interesting. I mean, I think it helps. It kind of makes you push to solidifying the idea that there's some kind of worship or some kind of sacrifice going on here. And then it feels like the Paint with the Soul thing is definitely him. He's either potentially lurking around other people, like trying to find people, or there is some kind of thing out in some kind of forest that he is visiting, some kind of altar, you know what I mean? Some kind of worshiping altar or something. I'm not sure.
I think what my theory is that it was a guy who initially figured out how to broadcast on a local channel no one watched, and maybe he began with stuff like The Fallen Angel in Life, where he's just like, oh, we have to do good for Satan, and then he learns sort of that a better way to go about it is the Mr. Bear broadcast, right? That like maybe he could hide himself a little bit. Not well, but at least to children. I'm
wondering too. Well, not only hide himself to children, but I'm also wondering instead of having to go out and look for people, or like assumably, I mean, like I'm making assumptions here, but break into people's houses and steal kids this way, it's like they come to him. You know what I mean? Like it's much more alluring that way. So yeah.
Question 3: Where is Mr. Bear, or the guy who wore the costume? If I did know, I would have said earlier. I have no idea where the guy is, or if he's dead or alive. Hopefully dead. When I see my dad's friend next time, I'll ask him about this. Maybe I can get a more definite answer. And then question number 4, what did Mr. Bear do to the children? This is by far the most common question I've been asked. I found this out in October as well, via my dad's friend who is a retired Caledon regional officer. Apparently, the man playing Mr. Bear took the kids out of the house and into the forest nearby. What he did there, police are not exactly sure how it happened, but 16 charred bodies of children between the ages of 4 to 13 were found in a 15 by 15 foot ditch deep within the forest. My dad's friend did not want to go into exact details, but I'm seeing him next Thursday anyway, so maybe I can extort more information from him then. That's all I have for now. Thanks for keeping an interest in my blog. I'll try to gather as much information as I can for my next post. I've actually been getting pretty interested in this myself. It should be my right to know what the hell happened.
Okay. So definitely some kind of, I mean, seems like he's taking people out there, sacrificing them for something. Now I'm wondering, more so my curiosity is leaning into, is there any actual paranormal significance that's going to happen, or is it just a madman?
Yeah.
Because you know what it kind of reminds me of a bit? If you know Temple OS?
Oh, yes. Gosh, man, you just gave me a flashback, but yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah. Crazy religious guy making something, and he's just like hunkering down and posting it on the internet. But
Yeah.
in the same way, it makes me think of like delusional man. If it's not paranormal, it's like delusional man, like weird Satanist guy thinks he has to appease probably some kind of weird voices in his brain or do some kind of, something along those lines. The connections are there. So I'm curious to see, is this going to go into a paranormal direction or not? It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's definitely keeps, like, so far it hasn't fallen off anywhere, right? It kind of keeps attention. Like, sure, it's revealing stuff,
Yeah.
like the children were killed, and there's some reference to Satan, but we still don't know enough specifics that it kind of gives away, right? It doesn't show its hand too quick. Update 4, right? Yeah, update 4. January 14th, 2010. I'm sorry I haven't posted anything for a while. I kind of lost interest in this blog since I hit a standstill while looking for more information about the identity of the owner of Caledon Local 21. However, a few weeks ago, I struck gold. I found some answers, surprisingly from the father of a kid I used to babysit. He lives just across from my street, and I used to look after his kids when they were younger. He currently doesn't have a job either. He used to live near the woods outside of Caledon and witnessed the owner's activities in the woods. His name is Anthony Polo. When he lived in the small bungalow outside the woods, he would often venture in to smoke a joint of marijuana or two before returning to his work as a wood craftsman. Polo described that sometimes he would hear voices of children coming from deeper within the woods, as well as a glowing light off in the distance. Polo told me that these events started in late 1997. No, this is around the time Caledon Local 21 began airing. He apparently became annoyed by this happening every once in a while and actually went to investigate. Polo then described what the whole scene looked like when he got there. There's a group of kids, he said about 13 to 17, and ages 5 to 12 gathered around a large fire pit with a burning fire. With them was a single adult. Polo talked to the man, noting his unkempt appearance of a crack addict as well as his constant twitching, and asked what he was doing out in the forest with children. The man said they were on a camping trip, something they did frequently. Polo, not suspecting anything...
God, dude.
You thought the dad was bad?
Jeez, I know, dude. Imagine seeing a crack addict looking guy twitching, and he's like, "We're on a camping trip," and all the kids are like probably looking at him horrified, and he's just like smoking his joint. He's like, "All right, this is the lowest crime rate in Canada."
Yeah, the next line's so funny. It says Polo, not suspecting anything, as Caledon has one of the lowest crime rates in Canada. Man, the idea of, like, you see any single father who wants to do crack with his 17 children is a friend of mine.
We're just camping. we're camping. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell. We're just doing that, right? And he's like, the person he's like holding one of their hands, like squeezing it really hard. We're just having fun out here. Sorry, sorry about that. I'm sorry.
Well,
oh my God, dude. Read the rest of the sentence.
All right, next one. Simply left it at that and told them to be quieter.
Imagine he's like, "All right, well, if you guys could stop throwing each other into the fire here and screaming and crying, and that'd be so nice, because I'm trying to. It's so hard for me to think with you guys screaming so much and talking. God, blocking me out, man." Anyways, yeah.
The idea of like a kid grabs his hand and it's like, please help me, mister. And he's like, will you pipe down? I'm trying to have a conversation with your father here.
You're so loud. You're so loud.
Quiet.
I can't hear myself think.
I want to talk to the crackhead. Let's make sure you're safe. Who is help? That's not my name. Stop asking for him.
Yeah.
Polo then paused for a while before telling me that they never became quieter. In fact, sometimes he heard loud chanting from the children in an unknown language.
Oh my God! What?
Those
Yeah, I think they're out
crackheads
there.
and their children.
Oh, I think that's Latin, dude. Is that a dead language? Oh man. Oh God. Oh God. He didn't bother meeting with the man again as he was moving away. I'm moving. I'm getting the hell out of here. So who
He
cares?
says he didn't bother meeting with the man as he was moving away anyway. What?
God, dude.
Talk to that guy.
Polo and the man's dad need to be arrested immediately. We're in a very tight race for the worst characters out of a story. Not badly written. I just mean just bad
They're
people
bad
that
people.
deserve
Yeah,
to be
they're
in prison.
losers.
Yes. Yes, there needs to be a tier list.
And this is the worst part. Listen, I told Polo that the man was probably the owner of Caledon Local 21, but he doubted it, as he heard that the man was moving to Pickering by several other residents near that area. Bro.
No, I doubt that. No, I doubt it.
So anyway, I was in the woods and I found these 17 children ages 5 to 12 with this one man around a fire pyre. Oh, that sounds like the police case of the man with 17 children aged 5 to 12 around a fire. No, it doesn't check out because I heard that guy, someone told me he moved.
No, I have it on pretty good authority that guy's left, so probably not that.
I think you need to check your records because the ones I knew were chanting Latin and cutting themselves in a family-friendly fashion. Not
Yeah,
this
plus
devil
those kids
worshiping
were bleeding from their eyes and chanting Latin, so I think they're sharp cookies. Like I doubt that was them.
I think they could have fought that guy off if that was him. So I think that was their dad, and he just really liked crack. Okay.
Who doesn't like a little hit of crack every once in a while? God, not a big deal. Good Lord.
Here's what I know now. The man would take the kids into the woods regularly for, quote, camping. The fire pit Polo described may be the hole the bodies of the children were found in. The children Polo saw are probably the ones found dead. Probably. Okay.
Yeah, well, I like all these maybe the hole the bodies were found in, and Polo saw the children Polo saw are probably the ones found dead. It's like I didn't, hey, don't think we need to be in fucking Inspector Gadget to realize that. Yeah, these are the people that come on, man.
It reminds me, I can't remember what it was. I'll send it to you if I can find it. But there was this YouTube video I watched one time where they were trying to prove this guy on TV was an individual who had a criminal record, right? So he shows the two side by side and they're clearly the same person. But then he spends 10 minutes as we can see, his name here is this, which matches his name here. But that's not all. They have the same social security number. But that's not all. We both see, and it got down to the point they were wearing the same shirt in two different photos, and he's still like,
it's like, we get it, it's the same guy!
And at the end, he's like, with this information, we can safely assume this is the same individual.
We can safely assume. God.
That's what this reminds me of. The man moved to a city called Pickering, a small city east of Toronto. I will discuss this with my dad's friend, the ex-cop, and see if this matches anything the police knew about the man. I also want to see if he has any other knowledge of what was aired on Caledon Local 21.
Surely we have to assume that the broadcasts are going to start coming back somehow, is what I'm going to assume.
I don't know. But we'll see. We shall see.
I see.
The next update. February 10th, 2010. Good news, guys. I talked to my dad's friend, and he disclosed a lot of information for me. First, I asked if the police had any information on the man who ran Caledon Local 21. He replied that they have only had the same leads for years, never found a suspect. However, the Peel Regional Police do have some of the tapes found in the house Caledon Local 21 was broadcasted from. He took me over so I could watch a few. I guess I haven't said much about him yet. My dad's friend's name is Mitchell Wilson, a pretty nice guy. He seems to understand my thirst for knowledge on what happened during the late 90s in that house. He feels it was wrong that my dad went so long without telling me much. He took me to the Davis Road Police Station. If you don't know, it's the largest station in Caledon, and one of the largest within the Peel region itself. One of the main stations around Peel have some of the tapes. I was able to watch all of the footage that the Davis Road Station has. Unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to take any tapes home for obvious reasons.
I just want to say one thing I really like with a lot of these stories, and that this is setting up really well too, is I like the amount of times that like adults like withhold things from their children.
Yeah.
Or what, like almost like no kid could ever handle hearing these things or being left in the dark, and it always proves to be the wrong thing. Instead of just being completely transparent and having it be like an open discussion in due time. Like I don't think you have to traumatize somebody, but I do think like. I think that like this deception that it starts off with is like also what like lends so many people to be digging so much more. And now my gut reaction too is that Elliot is going to dig too far and something like I don't know. Like I would hate for him to be like, man, no one is giving me answers. I need to keep digging. Yeah. And then it ends up like really backfiring on him.
You know what I mean? Versus like finding Mr. Bear on his own or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I think I think it's a good trickle of information, whereas, like, you're not going to tell a 6-year-old what happened, but you tell a 16-year-old what happened, right?
I think you could. I think that even, like, a 13-year-old or something where it's, like, you're obviously not mature yet, but I think that you have enough cognitive functioning to where you could be like, hey, this is what happened, and it's, like, a really pretty horrifying thing. I think that as you're growing, you need to know like the dangers of what's going on. Yeah. Especially, I would feel so guilty if I took someone there and it ended up being something horrible, right? Yeah. Where you'd almost want to be like, let's not have that happen again, etc.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's also a good trickle because like now Mitchell's like you can see the tapes. You know, I understand. I'll let you see them. And it also is good for the reader because we have a good balance between hearing new tapes and then talking about what they might mean, stuff like that. I think it's a good balance.
As with a lot of these stories, the deception with the parents is always weird. I'm like still kind of skeptical with the dad because I do like the line where Mitchell says he feels it was wrong, or this is in reference to Elliot saying what Mitchell said. He feels it was wrong that my dad went so long without telling me much. Yeah. It's just one little line where I'm like, I don't know. I'm watching that dad now. I don't know.
So the episodes that he was shown. Paint with the Soul, episode 10. Garbage Thrown Away. Paint with the Soul was one of the shows that I Am Real Life and Siggy 92 discussed on Neoseeker. I told the police about this, and they informed me that 12 episodes of the show were made and broadcasted between December 5th, 1997 and January the 8th, 1998. This also further backs up my theory that this and the Satan show would have come first because he ended early 1998 to do more Mr. Bear stuff. So it seems like Paint with the Soul came first. Exactly as I Am Real Life and Siggy 92 described, the episode opened with the cameraman wandering around in a forest. It appeared to be during this evening as it seemed the sun was setting. The cameraman walked along a path until he got to an area where there was a lot of garbage lying in the leaves. The camera looked around at the various wrappers, bottles, bags, and boxes, making sure each item got a few seconds of screen time. The camera then focused on a single area before the man spoke. I recall he spoke in a very timid, quiet voice, and I swear I've heard it somewhere else before. Like, on another Caledon Local 21 show. I could barely hear what he was saying, but he mainly talked about how humans are garbage, or something that had to do with saving ourselves by cleaning up the garbage, or us. It actually sounded really stupid, but still a feeling of dread came over me. I mean, that forest was possibly where those bodies were found, right? Mr. Bear's Cellar, episode 25. When the police administrator brought in this tape, I actually said,
"Oh, shit," and
chuckled a bit out loud. Of course, I got stares from the staff, but Wilson explained to them about my little experience with Mr. Bear and how I still kept the letter he sent me. Like the previous episodes, this one included a guy wearing a bear mascot costume. The episode began with Mr. Bear waddling over to his cellar door with a bottle of orange juice in his paws. On the ground were 16 shot glasses, as well as a small bottle that contained an unknown liquid. Mr. Bear poured an equal amount of orange juice into each glass before opening the smaller bottle and depositing one drop into the glasses. Mr. Bear then went off camera. There was some minor sounds such as shuffling and Then Mr. Bear emerged from behind the camera's location. Following him were 16 children. Some looked as young as 4, while others looked like they were practically teenagers. As the children entered, the administrator commented that this is the only episode that showed all 16 victims. The kids all looked rather content, except for this one who had visible bruises on his face. And unlike the other kids, he had a more fearful expression. He also looked about 11 or 12, which caused me to recognize him. He was the kid who asked about his sister and subsequently met an unknown fate at the end of episode 23, that one episode I watched during July of 99. When I told the administrator this, he confirmed it was the same kid. He was also featured in 24, an episode that only aired once at 3 p.m. in July of 99. The police have still not found the tape. Mr. Bear then broke into song, singing about citrus fruits and how good vitamin C was for you. I could barely hear the lyrics as they were muffled by the bear mask. The kids all drink their juice, the one from episode 23 doing it rather reluctantly, and the episode ended. After viewing the tapes in possession of the David Road police station, I'm satisfied, but only temporarily. I still want to know the full story. The police just keep giving me the same crap about the creator of Caledon Local 21 being a fetishist pedophile as well as an apparent cultist. I'll sign off for now, get into university first, and get information later. Hopefully, I'll get back to this blog as soon as possible.
I mean, we're getting to a spot here where the thing about him, I don't know how you read this, but when he put the drop of stuff in the orange juice, it almost makes you think it's like a sedative or something that, in a way, makes me think maybe would help them not feel pain, whatever. Like, is Mr. Bear, is he feeling sympathetic towards these kids? He's obviously some kind of mentally unwell man, but is it going to be one of those things where it's like the voices are telling me to do this, but I don't want to, or something? You know, like the information we're being given. I'm wondering what kind of drug he's giving them. It seems like sedating them somehow, but I'm not entirely sure.
I think it'd be a kind of drug that just kind of made the kids more passive. You know, they'll go along with whatever he says, kind of dull their senses, so to speak. We can also see that after that kid tried to get away, he was physically beat, and now he's drinking it because he's in fear of that happening again.
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to have that happen to him again. I'm wondering if Elliot is going to try to reach out and meet up with I Am Real Life and Siggy 92.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to have any kind of like meet up to be able to meet them in person or something. I'm curious. I'd like to see if he meets them in person and to see like what kind of conversation that would be.
Yeah. Okay, continuing on. Next update, May 8th, 2010. Last month, I finally got my G2 license. In Ontario, Canada, this allows you to drive in a car by yourself as well as with some passengers after 6 months. I, of course, took advantage of this and drove into Caledon for a little Sunday drive. Since I haven't updated this blog in a while, I figured I might as well visit the house where the infamous channel of my childhood was located. The house looked different than when I saw it last in October. The place was no longer used as a daycare and just sat there abandoned. However, it did have a for sale sign showing that someone still owned it, wanting to get rid of it though. So I want to ask you, what do you think of going back? You know he's not there logically, right? But what do you think about driving to the house?
I think if you're in search of answers, I think that you'd want to think that, or I believe the desperation of your mind would think that there is something there that someone has not picked up on, right? I think that also being in this thing and feeling this connection to something that's like mentally overtakes you, seeing it, feeling it in person is probably so much different. But I would say that it's you being like, them being obsessed on the aspect of like, him being a pedophile and stuff. I think that even Elliot's just like, I think that there's something more at play here than that. And I think that he is wanting that kind of closure, especially because, in a sense, he came so close to death himself. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it was me in this situation, I would be reading it like there is something that someone has not uncovered yet. And the fascination too. I mean, in a way, it's like it's almost like an obelisk or an old temple to this like guy. You know what I mean? It's still standing. It's there. It represents all of these evils in a way.
Yeah. I think I would want to go 2. I don't know if it'd be a good idea, but I'd probably want to at least.
Yeah, I mean, at this point too, from what we've read, there's nothing to say that it's still harmful now. So I think that like I don't think it's like a negative to go back. I think it's just a matter of I'm wondering if his intentions are to just find something that has not been uncovered.
Yeah, it might be. There might be something there. The abandoned house drew fuzzy memories from my mind, mainly of that day my dad took me to visit Mr. Bear. A feeling of dread came upon me. What happened to the children while they were living in that house? I walked up the steps to the front door and peered through the window. Inside, I could see a nearly empty hallway with a few boxes at the end. At the end of the hallway, to the right, was an open doorway, presumably leading to the kitchen. To the left were 2 doors, both apparently leading to the rooms visible through the windows outside. I wondered where the cellar entrance was located and whether it had been sealed up. I walked around to the back of the house and found my answer. 2 wooden doors lying at an almost flat angle were padlocked shut. This had to lead to the cellar. Not wanting to hang around, you cannot imagine what was going through my mind at that time, I departed. Behind the house, the empty field continued on until it reached a dense forest that lined the horizon. I wondered if that was the forest where the bodies of the children were found. I thought to myself, screw it, and... oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just say fuck it, but yeah, screw it, it's fine. Sorry.
And proceeded to walk across the field behind the house into the forest. The forest was oddly quiet, save for the few periodic sounds of a woodpecker drilling into a distant tree. I cautiously made my way deeper into the woods, not really caring about the fact that I had no idea where I was going. I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like there was something I had to find. I came to a thinner part of the woods and a few small houses in the distance. Polo's house crossed my mind, and I wondered if one of those homes had belonged to him. I neared a small clearing in which I could see 3 adequately sized logs gathered around a black, charred area, showing a small fire had been lit there recently.
Hey! Get the fuck out of our fort!
Those words nearly gave me a heart attack. I turned to my left and saw 2 dark-clothed people running towards me. My initial thought was to run. However, as they came closer, I saw that they were just kids in their early teens, possibly 13 or 14, maybe even 12. As they approached me, they realized my size as well. I'm 6'1", while they could be no bigger than 5'8". One might have been 5'7".
Damn.
Did you
Big
say
fucking
damn?
16-year-old. God damn, dude.
He
Good
is
lord.
tall. He's a big boy.
Old boy's eating his green beans and stuff. My word.
He's going pro immediately.
Yeah.
We said, get the fuck out.
The larger one, who was wearing a Slipknot shirt. Hey, there's your reference. You said you wanted.
Hey!
It's not Limp Bizkit, but it's a reference to something.
There it is. I like that.
The larger one who was wearing a Slipknot shirt said half-heartedly. I stood my ground and shrugged. The shorter one was wearing a Metallica shirt. There you go, another one.
I like that.
Swung out a butterfly knife and held it in my direction.
This is literally Beavis and Butthead.
Yes, you know what it is? You know what it is? The one reference we forgot to make earlier. The boys from Jeff the Killer. The 2 boys.
Oh, shit. That's exactly right.
That's them, yeah. Looks like we've got some fresh meat. That's it.
Looks like we've got some fresh meat. Oh, I like this. I like this coming up.
No, you wouldn't want to.
I said in a deep, serious tone, trying to sound as badass as possible. I pulled out my cell phone. The 2 kids withdrew, the one in the Metallica shirt putting away the knife.
Look, dude, we don't like people in our fort, so can you just go?
The one in the Slipknot shirt said, obviously intimidated. I had no business in the forest anyway, so I uttered out a simple
Fine.
and turned before I realized I had a great opportunity.
Did either of you hear a guy who murdered a bunch of kids in these woods about 13 years ago?
I asked the kids. The 2 looked at each other in confusion before the one wearing the Metallica shirt answered.
Yeah, everyone knows about that guy.
He said to me as if I were stupid. The kid in the Slipknot shirt continued.
He still lives around here, in the storm drain. My big brother's friend said he saw him in a bear costume once, wandering around the forest at night.
Whoa!
Okay, that's the
Holy
most
shit.
menacing part of the entire story.
He still lives right here in
Oh
the
my.
storm drain. Is crazy. Is crazy.
Oh, that gave me chills. Gosh, the idea of being in the woods at night and he's still wandering out there, like maybe looking for the kids he lost or looking for more, and he lives in a storm drain. Could you imagine just peeking into a storm drain and seeing a bear costume? Huh.
Yeah, and I mean, I would assume too that he's still wearing it as like some kind of weird identity kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
he is Mr.
Guy's
Bear
obviously
now.
mentally unwell,
Yeah.
anyways. Like, yeah.
Oh man, that's awful. See, what's wild is when I heard this story for the first time, stuff like that didn't stick out to me because I was like, I think I was 12 when I read this the first time. So to me, I'm just like, oh, that's a creepy monster thing to have, right? It didn't hit as hard as it did just now. Huh, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what's kind of interesting about you saying that too? At 12, these guys are 13, and they're saying it as casually as you probably read it.
Yeah. Like,
Which is
creepy
pretty
urban
sick.
legend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. My instincts told me this was probably a lie, and the owner of Caledon Local 21 is probably long gone, only existing as a folklore in this smaller, isolated community. However, as a human, the thought of the mysterious unknown sparked interest within.
And where is the storm drain?
I asked, just out of curiosity. I don't actually believe the kid's story. The kid in the Metallica shirt stared at me for a few moments, his eyes seemingly full of annoyance, yet curiosity for me.
You're not from around here, are you? Why did you even come here?
Now, I do admit I was slightly startled by the nature of his question. However, I figured I might as well explain why I was there, just in case people mistook my intentions. I told the two kids about my experience with the man in Caledon Local 21, that I had come to maybe seek out some sort of closure, although even I wasn't exactly sure. The kids seemed familiar with the channel as they smiled and looked at each other when I mentioned it. They also became more understanding and gave me a detailed description on how to get to the storm drain. Shortly after, I decided to just turn around the way I came and head back to the house, leaving the kids at their fort. But now you're probably wondering why I left out such a detail about the kids. But now you're probably wondering why I left out such detail about what the kids told me just now. It is because I'm choosing to conclude what I have gathered now. Here's what the kids told me in detail. The storm drain lies ahead of the kids' fort, same direction I was heading. The drain ends at a small river where excess water's drained out. Near here is a small playground. The kids told me people rarely use it. The man supposedly lives in the large pipe the rainwater drains out of. People have seen him, although always either wearing a bear mask or the mask and a full-body bear costume. No, I do not believe this is true, and in fact simply a myth made by the residents of Caledon. The story does not seem plausible in any way. Why did no one call the police? Didn't this guy look suspicious? And other questions like this leave the story invalid. I may visit the storm drain. Not because I believe the story, but because I want an excuse to visit Caledon again. So this blog doesn't die. With no more tapes to watch, I don't know what to talk about anymore. Thanks for continuing to support me in my blog. I know many are looking forward to more information about what happened in Caledon during the year 1999, and I'll do my best to continue my research into the topic. Elliot out.
Okay, and that was in May of 2010. Well, let me ask you, what do you think? Do you like just out of your gut reaction? Are you think it's a myth?
I do want to say immediately, if we remove the polo part, because I feel like that kind of killed the pacing a bit. I feel like it was too much revealed at once, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, they're fine and there's a fire. If we remove that part, this entire thing is so expertly dripped to the reader. Like, from like, oh, there's this creepy guy back in 99, and then a bunch of kids died, so that's why the police are interested. And then we hear more tapes, we start to put together psychology, we start to put together purposes, and now we get the detail that he's living in a storm drain nearby, although in the real world, I would say this is definitely an urban legend, right? Because how does a guy live in the woods for 10 years, right? No one called the police, no one spots him, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the story has given us just enough room for error with the supernatural that it could be possible. Maybe he's some spirit, maybe he's some ghost, something like that, right? And it puts you in this perfect gray area where you don't know what to believe. And it creates dread, it creates tension. It's so well done so far. This is a lot better than I thought it would be looking back on it now. And it's cool for that. I'm happy to see that.
The thing that is piquing my curiosity at the moment is that it ended with even Elliot, our narrator, our protagonist, even questioning the validity of, like, this is probably fake. I mean, this doesn't make sense, to where the author knows that these questions are arising. And I'm wondering, even though that this was like kind of continued on, if the charred bodies is breadcrumbs that is trying to, it's setting up some kind of subversion of expectation. I'm very curious to see. I don't think that we've fully gotten a whole grasp of what's going on, and I don't think it's as simple as the guy being in a pipe. Like, I think that I'm curious. I feel like we're heading down a very interesting road
even
right
if
now.
nothing more comes out of the guy in the pipe thing, I think it does serve to, like, the impact this event has had on the local community, right?
Oh, sure.
Like, the legend is he's still
definitely.
out there. He's still in the woods. Right?
Yeah.
I think it works.
Yeah, he himself has become an urban legend. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, that makes sense totally.
I'm loving this story so far. I'm thrilled with.
Yeah, I mean,
its quality.
I'm locked in right now.
All right, next update, October 7th, 2010. Wow, nearly 5 months since I last updated. I'm guessing everyone pretty much thinks I was dead, right? Thankfully, I'm not. But in all my seriousness, I really have been busy these past few months, and a blog about something that could have killed me as a kid is a little low on my current priorities list. As of now, I'm living in Waterloo, Ontario, attending the University of Waterloo for computer engineering. Yeah, I'm a keener. As you can imagine, engineering is no walk in the park, so obviously I nearly forgot about this blog. But as you can see now, I'm back. I remembered to visit the storm drain the kids from the Caledon Forest told me about. I was out in a clearing between the wooded areas, nearby a marsh. Unfortunately, I found absolutely nothing, save for a turtle that retreated into its built-in home when it saw me. I snapped some pics of the pipe, which I have posted as well. Also, let me tell you, it was not a storm drain like they said it was. What I saw was a simple pipe, possibly to channel the excess water from the marsh. When I returned from Caledon, however, I simply kept putting off uploading everything until I forgot all about my blog. It just didn't seem important anymore. Please forgive me. It wasn't until only recently that I am now interested in my case again. On September 10th, I received an email from this email address, returnthebee@hotmail.com. Funny, am I right? Well, it gets better. I'm going to copy and paste the exact email this guy sent me.
Dear Elliot, my dear, dear boy. You see, this story may or may not be true, but it could happen. There are many slots for airtime. If you have money, you can have a public access TV channel. Some public access channels share airtime, like EWTN, which is a religious channel based out of Michigan that shows Catholic-based programming, but during off-air hours have independent shows or just blue screen. Cable networks have empty channels available for rent space. So the scenario of a pedo renting a channel on basic TV is not far-fetched at all. However, public access TV is widely reviewed and can be terminated at any time. These are the rules of the United States, not for Canada, where the story took place. So if this happened in the U.S., the pedo would be tracked and arrested immediately. Yes, this story could happen, but it is unlikely. 100 fuzzy hugs, Mr. Bear.
Now, obviously, this letter is fake and sounds almost corrupted, but still, I would like to thank whoever sent it, though they could use some English lessons. Just reading the letter creeped me out, but because of it, I'm now full of this new interest to continue my blog. I guess it's just funny trying to pursue the mysteries I've always questioned. Now my roommate knows about all this. He thought the letter was real and actually seemed more scared than I was for a second, but then I shrugged it off. So he did too. I mean, what are the chances of this being real? How could Mr. Bear know all this about public access TV and about when I went to Caledon on those occasions? More or less know my email or me still be interested in this in his cellar. Ha. I'm going to send a reply to return the bee. Wow, just looking at that email address, you can tell someone wanted to freak me out. It didn't really work though. Yeah, we can definitely tell. That's why you're still talking about it. Although, to whomever you are, thank you for sparking my interest back into the full matter. Maybe I can find out more about what happened to Mr. Bear. Hopefully, because although I don't buy that email, a part of me still feels anxious. thank you to all those who are still following me and become avid fans. You are also why I'm choosing to continue with this. Thanks, guys. He sounds freaked out.
He's definitely freaked out. The thing too, well, I guess just out of curiosity, do you think that email is real, or do you think it's like somebody who was following the story and then they are trying to prank him?
I don't know. I kind of feel the same way I do about the storm drain thing. You know, it could just be set dressing to show how this has affected it, but it could also potentially be real, because we don't know. If Mr. Bear's just a normal person, I don't think it's real. But if there's some supernatural element, then I think it definitely could be.
Okay.
I can tell he's getting freaked out by it, though. So.
Yeah, I mean, even the way he talked about the kids and stuff, too, and how much he reiterated that he didn't believe what they were saying, I think that you could tell that. I think that he was trying to almost willfully think that he's, like, trying to convince himself it wasn't real. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Also, I will add, originally, to my understanding, before this was all posted to creepypasta.com, it was on Camden's actual blog he had, like his personal blog.
Okay.
So I think those original pictures of what the storm drain looked like are now lost. Because I haven't seen them, and I don't think I've seen anyone reshare them. But if anyone knows if those pictures can be found, that would be cool, just for set dressing for the video. But yeah, I think those pictures are lost because the original blog's no longer up.
It's just gone.
Yeah, I think so at least.
Okay.
All right, now it's not like super indicative to the story. It was pictures of a storm drain.
No, right? it'd be nice to have.
It'd be nice.
Though,
it's nice to have, yeah, just to see where he might be. Next update, November 7th, 2010. Wow, I can't believe this blog hasn't been deleted yet. I haven't checked it for so long. I have my reasons, and I'd rather not discuss them just yet. It has been a rather traumatic month for me. Some of you are right. I shouldn't have gone back trying to relive the mysteries of my childhood, but I couldn't resist. It's been a month since my last post, and a lot has happened. Let's recap where I'm at right now with regards to the whole Mr. Bear incident. returnthebee@hotmail.com is no longer in use. I tried replying to the email, but I got no reply. I tried again a while back. Still no response. I've actually moved up to Ottawa, capital of Canada, for those who don't know, for university, so I haven't been back to Caledon or back home in the Peel region for a while. I had my reasons for leaving, as you could guess why. I've had to make a new email account because people keep prank emailing me, pretending to be Mr. Bear. Thanks a lot, guys. Not. That's the most 2009.
Yeah, very.
Like, not.
Late epic.
Troll face. Yeah, I just did that. Why have I ventured back to this blog? Mitchell Wilson, remember my dad's ex-cop friend, gave me a phone call on October 23rd about a tape that was found in a branch of the Brampton Public Library. Brampton is my hometown, in case you haven't picked up on that. He claims he isn't allowed to discuss the contents of the tape with me, as it's still in evidence, but he asked me to come check it out when I return home. That tape got the gears grinding again because we all know what was on the last tapes I saw. I can only imagine what can be on it. I'm guessing it must have something to do with Caledon Local 21. I guess I just wanted to say I am continuing this blog, and thank you for everyone who still follows it. I don't know when my next entry will be, but when I see that tape, I'll write what I find. I don't know what to expect, but the idea of seeing another tape has got me interested in this whole mystery all over again. Elliot. So we now move on to the last tape. I will mention something that was really good that I didn't call out when it happened is that part where he's at the Mr. Bear house and the cellar's right there and he feels like really weird all of a sudden and walks away from it. Like the logical part of his brain knows that Mr. Bear's not there anymore, right? That it's not going to hurt him. But it makes so much sense to get out of there immediately, right? Like, there's the cellar door. You know horrible things happen there, and you saw what was on the other side of that door from that camera, and it's haunted you all these years. And the padlock's the only thing between you and it. The human inclination would be to run, right? To get out of there. Like I said, it's not logical, but it makes sense that he would leave rather than investigating. I really like that detail.
I mean, you're right. You're definitely right. You know what's crazy is that whenever I read that, I thought that he left because the inclination was he was like, I want to break in. I don't know why I thought that until now, but I think that hearing you say that, I think you might be I think that makes way more sense of just that dreadful little feeling, like almost like that pit in your gut.
Yeah, like his body's just like get out, get out, get out. You know, like
Definitely. Yeah.
I think a lot of the terror works well, and I feel like Elliot is being realistically portrayed as someone who had that kind of trauma, and he's now trying to process it, and now he's like having to interact with it, and like the way that he interacts with it. I think it makes a lot of sense as a character.
Yeah, I agree.
So, big update here. Update January 21st, 2011. So, 2 months after the last one. The end of 2010 into the new year was dreadfully long for me. University has been giving me the usual sleepless nights, especially since I transferred to Ottawa, which is the place to party. Sarcasm. But now I am back home with my dad in Brampton, the town I grew up in. I got home on the 18th of December and have been visiting with friends and family. Or at least that's what I would rather have done. Now the festive holiday cheer that I usually have at this time of the month is absent.
And I just want to say too, really quick, one thing that I liked from that last post, sorry about the late thought here, but
No, you're good.
one thing I liked about it was he's like, oh, people keep making these emails and trying to scare me. Haha. I like that because to me, like looking back at it, I'm like, what if it's just a guy making different emails and messaging you? So creepy.
It fits because it's realistic that people would be making other emails and messaging him after he gave the idea. But it's also, like you said, a chance that it's him just making burner emails. So
yeah,
again, it
works
fits
on both
that
levels.
great area of like, is this just like people's response to it, or is this another Mr. Bear thing? Is there really a difference if it leads to the same dread in people who live with it, like the thing in the storm drain? Does it make a difference if kids won't go play on the playground either way, you know?
And also the idea, too, that the story has picked up. By this time, I'm assuming that the story online is doing very well and is probably well known within the circles of the horror stories, right? But it could be the idea, too, that like it's gotten enough traction to where it's like made its way back to the guy, and he's able to like know that the guy's talking, knowing that this kid is talking about this again, and wants to contact him. Just like that idea.
Man.
It's just kind of creepy and fun.
Yeah. This is, again, very well done. To answer the hundreds of emails and comments I got, yes, I did see the tapes that my dad's friend, Mitchell Wilson, promised to show me. These tapes, however, act as a curse. I want to know more, yet I want to forget everything. I couldn't help it. I needed to see those tapes. Not only for myself, but for all of you guys who are just as intrigued as I am by that ominous man in a bear suit from my past. However, after viewing those tapes, I feel that pit of dread deep inside me once again. That feeling where I know that all those kids in those videos are dead. That I could have been one of those kids. And that humanity's a dark, dark place. If you haven't skipped this paragraph for the juicier details below, thank you for listening to my ramblings. On January the 1st, I called Mitchell Wilson and asked if there was a time where I could come by and view the tapes. Things were pretty slow at the station because of a snowstorm, so he said I could come down any time that day. The tapes were located at a branch not too far from me. So I braved the slushy roads and terrible Brampton drivers and made my way to the Peel Regional Police Station located at the Bramley City Center. I met Wilson at the front desk, where he then led me up to the second floor into a small office. He instructed me to have a seat and wait while he went and got the tapes. Before leaving the office, he turned to me and said,
I know you're curious, but are you sure you want to do this?
Of course I did. Or at least thought so. Besides, Wilson's friend had pulled a lot of strings to get me in there, and I didn't want to waste the opportunity. This particular station had 2 tapes on hand. I was only able to watch a few minutes of footage, however, because the second tape was apparently too damaged to be played on a VCR. Mr. Bear's Cellar, Episode 30. Mr. Bear never ceases to disturb me, especially after what almost happened when I was younger. This episode took place outside in a forest at dusk, making it slightly hard to see, especially considering the quality of the film, trademark of anything from Culloden Local 21. The episode started with the camera being held in the paws of Mr. Bear, aiming it at himself. That bear mask. It looked more sinister in the shadows of the trees. The unmistakable muffled voice spoke up.
Hello, children. Today, I will be doing a wonderful thing for my friends. I will be delivering them to a faraway land Well, they will surely be happy.
Mr. Bear returned the camera around to show an ATV with an attached trailer. But what stood out the most was that the trailer contained 7 motionless children lying side by side.
This here is the first load, but more will be there on their way soon.
Mr. Bear turned around and pointed the camera at a large burlap tarp spread on the ground. He picked the tarp up, revealing a large hole that must have been at least 12 feet deep and maybe about 15 feet wide. The rest of the episode consisted of Mr. Bear taking each kid and dropping them into the hole. I asked Wilson if they were dead, to which he shook his head and replied,
Not yet.
Soon all the kids were in the pit. Some were in awkward positions due to being tossed in, but they remained unconscious.
The vitamin C will surely help these children on the great journey that awaits them.
Mr. Bear mentioned as he panned the camera towards multiple bottles of gasoline beside a bush. The camera zoomed into the bottles as Mr. Bear hummed before the episode ended. Wilson revealed to me that these were 7 of the 16 victims found burnt to a crisp. The gasoline is what the man playing Mr. Bear used to light them on fire. A pit full of burning children. Who the hell would do that? The feeling of dread found me once again when I realized that I could have been one of those kids. Wilson then explained to me that he had previously lied. The other tape, confiscated by the Bramley Police Branch, did indeed work and contained the filming of the actual burning. However, he felt that I wouldn't be able to handle the disturbing and graphic nature of the episode. And you know what? Maybe I can't. I don't even want to see it. I'm satisfied for now, but I just need some time to get myself together. The thing is, the man who ran Caledon Local 21 is still out there. More to come soon. Elliot. So how are you feeling right now?
Very very disturbing. You know what my mind immediately went to, which is interesting. This concluded in 2011. It started in 2009 with some of the footage and stuff. The last part there feels so eerily similar to the movie Sinister, and how all of those little recorded vignettes, it almost feels like a little too similar for them not to have been inspired by this in a way, right?
When did Sinister come out?
Sinister came out in 2012, dude.
Okay, so... Oh, are you saying Sinister took from this story?
I'm not saying they stole anything. I'm just saying, like, it feels so odd that if this thing was exactly inspired in that way, but even just, like, the way of, like, the shitty camera, the people lined up, I mean, like, that movie is very infamous for those scenes. And this is, like, if at the time... Even now, it's disturbing and stuff. Granted, it's not as graphic as, like, probably a lot of the stories would be nowadays, but still. I mean, it feels like I'm like... That's what my mind went to immediately, was that movie and those little vignettes.
Maybe. There could have been some inspiration taken. Like I said, the story wasn't super popular till, like, 2014. Once, like, it started making rounds on YouTube. I mean, it still had a community, but it wasn't, like, you know, as big as it became.
You know...
Till later.
Also, the aspect too of like the Poughkeepsie tapes also being something of an inspiration to this as well, is like finding tapes of a serial killer, and like it's just the raw footage from a serial killer's catalog of stuff. Yeah. It's just the way that the stuff is presented, even like the monster himself, the bear kind of thing, and wearing this mask, and my mind is just heading toward a sinister place. But it's very revealing. It's very revealing. I like that we're getting more dialogue from Mr. Bear as well. Definitely still in a manic kind of episode and stuff. Mm-hmm. Still wondering what the vitamin C, wondering what like the importance of vitamin C, if it's just him being fucking insane, or if there's some kind of going to be some kind of reveal there.
I think he's talking about just like, oh, the vitamin C will help them. It's because he knocked them out with it. I think that's what he means by that. Because all the kids are unconscious on the trailer, right?
Right. Do you think the tone in which I was reading it, or do you think that like the way that he was saying, like the quotes of Mr. Bear, do you think he was cheerful, or do you think, because even him saying like the vitamin C will help them. Is he like slightly disturbed by what he's doing? Like, what do you think? Because he's kind of catching himself on some of his words too.
I don't know. I think maybe he's just so far gone. I don't even know if he could be disturbed at this point with what he's doing. I think it's more so just it's like he's describing it to kids. He's trying to keep it whimsical, right? That's where I
Sure,
think
yeah,
he's
no,
at.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely a deranged man, and I imagine that he's still keeping this kind of childish, like positive voice kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like just totally delusional.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't know if he is disturbed by what he's doing.
The thing here that's next that says INRI. What does that mean? INRI.
Well, the update doesn't have a date. I don't think so. INRI is what was written on Jesus' cross when he was crucified. So maybe that's what it. Maybe that's what it's referencing. I don't know. Is there another name for it that means like no date given? Like, kind of like saying NA.
Yeah, I mean maybe. I mean, just googling it, it just says translates to Jesus Nazarene, King of the Jews.
Yeah,
it's just what I see.
Yeah, that's what was put on Christ's cross.
Which also, if he's which is if this is just giving more validity to Mr. like this quote here, which it just says INRI. There's no date or time on this, by the way, guys. This is what the entry says. Once upon a time, there lived a boy named Elliot. Elliot was a clever boy who loved playing with his friends. One day, he watched a lovely television show about a bear and his children friends. The children loved helping each other as good children should. But they also loved the bear. The bear loved the children since the children were so good at helping him and the fallen angel. The children and the bear wanted to play together forever with the help of their angel friend. But the fallen angel needed even more help, so the children had to give up the ultimate sacrifice. Because that's what friends do, Elliot. They help each other. Help us, Elliot. Burn with us, Elliot. I want you, Elliot. He wants you, Elliot. Come back to my cellar. Pretty pleased with sugar and icing on top. Mr. B. And it ends with INRI again. Which I'm wondering if the religious undertone there, since he's a Satanist and the fallen angels, obviously Lucifer and stuff like that, but I'm wondering if INRI is just kind of a representation of the crucifixion or like the sacrifice.
Now that you just said that, that's probably what it is, because Christ's death on the cross is like the ultimate sacrifice for people, so maybe the Satanist using it here is implying that the death of the children is the ultimate sacrifice for Satan, for the fallen angel. That probably
something
is
just
what it
dropped
means
in my
then.
room. Holy shit.
What'd you say? God. Did you say something dropped in the room?
Dude, a box dropped off my shelf randomly in my room. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes, finally.
A fucking Elgato Streambox box dropped from the I don't know how. This is honestly, that's fucking me up. I don't know how it fell off. That scared the fuck out of me.
I will say, you saying INRI is the one explicitly like religious symbol that we've mentioned so far, and when we mention it, the box falls off your shelf. So I want you to keep that in mind, Hunter.
That actually, I'm not even joking. I'm like, that scared the shit out of me. Okay. Holy shit.
Good. I'm glad.
And my door is closed. My door's closed. There's no way.
Make fun of my wife opening.
Yeah, but at least she's just your wife, dude. Do I have a goddamn demon in my room right now? I'm freaking out.
Well, I know. I got this. And I got this. So I'm gonna be all right, regardless of.
Dude, you saying this and this, and I have no idea what you're referring to, is making it even worse, dude. Because you're not sharing what I could be using to help myself.
I got this,
dude. Now I'm at that feeling where it's like I'm really creeped out. And I'm like hearing like little things. I don't like this. I wonder if you could. That was a pretty loud drop. I'm wondering in my recording if you could hear that. That was fucked up. Shut up, man. Shut up, man. That's my nightmare sound. All right, it goes into the next entry here, which is actually kind of crazy because the last entry that actually had a date was January of 2011, and now it says update April 5th, 2011. So it's been some time.
Few months, yeah. I will say, I will say, if that is what the INRI means, that's pretty sick that Mr. Bear is like fully committed to the symbols of their religiousness. Because even if the story's not supernatural, which I don't think it is at this point, even if it's not supernatural, it's this guy, whatever monster Mr. Bear is, so convinced that it's real that he's willing to kill over it. That's terrifying.
I just hate that I said INRI and the thing had to drop right when I said that.
It's funny that you keep saying it too. You keep provoking it.
Because I'm pretty sure, I think everybody who's working the studio today has left too. I am very upset. I'm very upset. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually very skittish right now. I'm very fucking skittish, and I don't like that.
I'm gonna send you a list of like phrases from the Bible you're definitely not supposed to say, and I'm just gonna have
Dude, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't even send that to me. Send me good things to say. I want some good. I need some good omens.
We just hear Hunter scream, and like that's the last CreepCast episode. Oops.
Yeah.
All right.
God. All right. Here we go.
Update April 5th, 2011. I wanted to update more. I truly did. However, certain circumstances had turned me off to the whole Caledon Local 21 thing. I've since then had hundreds of emails about my blog and was even in contact with the magazine about my story. But now is the time to come clean to everyone. Where have I been for an entire year? The story of Pandora's box is true, and I opened it. I opened it, and when I watched the second tape in the possession of the Bramella Police Branch, the other subject I'd like to address is the Wait, hold on. I watched it the second Hold up. I opened it when I watched the second tape in the possession of the Bramella Police Branch. So he watched the one of the fire. Is that what he's saying?
I think he has not told us what the subject is. I think he said this is the second tape of. There's the first one of them going in the pit, and he said, "I don't need to watch the second one. I'm fine." But I think he ended up watching it anyways.
Yeah, I opened it when I watched the second tape. Yeah, okay, I think you're right there. The other subject I'd like to address is the number of joke/fake emails I've been getting from people claiming to be Mr. Bear. Let's start with the second tape, as that is what traumatized me into stopping my search temporarily. Also, I'm doubling down on the critique I had earlier. If you cut out Polo's part, I think the story's perfectly paced because we're coming up on the ending, and now to tell us about that stuff, like what was exactly happening in the woods, works better. Whereas Polo kind of like gave a lackadaisical thing to kids being out in the woods. I know they were just around a campfire then. It wasn't the kids being burnt, I don't think. But I still feel
but
like,
still, a crack addict looking guy.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense. It's too many people.
But in my brain, I'm taking that out, and this is excellent, right?
Yeah.
After a few weeks of playing silent, I decided to ask Mitchell Wilson if I could view that infamous second tape we had talked about. I don't know why. I just felt that viewing the tape would give me some closure. Wilson was obviously reluctant to show me, but I was persistent. He gave me an offer. If I was still interested by the time I turned 20, he would show me the tape. Not being able to do much else, I just played the waiting game. By the time my 20th birthday rolled around, I was definitely still interested in viewing the tape. I gave Wilson a call, during which he admitted that he had hoped that I would forget about asking him again, but I was not taking no for an answer.
You really don't need to see it.
He kept telling me. But I did need to see it. I had to at this point. Sure enough, he invited me to the Bramella Branch one Monday afternoon. Having watched every Saw film and a video of animal slaughterhouses in my ethics class, I was sure I would be able to handle whatever the tape could throw at me. How naive I was. I will say, like, I know that I am one to talk. Like, if I hear there's a graphic video going around online, I want to see it, right? Just that, you know, the human part of me, I guess. I don't know. I don't think there's ever a scenario I would want to see videos of children being burned, I would hope. But I do understand that he has a personal connection to this and almost has a survivor's guilt about the people who were killed, right? So
I mean, yeah, man. If this is the last known tape of it, it would haunt you forever if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it would.
I think so. So it makes sense, I guess, you know. Mr. Bear Cellar, episode 31. When Wilson went to collect the tape from evidence, the officer in charge at the evidence room shook his head at me, his face saying, "What are you doing?" Wilson explained that this tape includes the last known episode of Mr. Bear's Cellar. I rightfully assumed that I would be seeing the fate of the children, and began to feel a sense of dread. The episode opened inside a forest, the usual one from the previous episodes. This fact took me a while to realize because it was night. The trees and leaves just looked like shapes dancing around in the darkness. A faint glow of light was present on the right side of the screen. There wasn't any apparent audio. It appeared to be a windy night, yet the trees weren't making any noise. Slowly, the camera began to pan towards the glow, revealing smoke rising from a hole with the tips of flames peeking over the top. Wilson paused at this point.
Are you sure you want to see this?
Dude, Wilson, stop fucking asking that and just show it already. How many times has Wilson said, "Are you sure you want to see this?"
He's about
You know what
to
I mean?
show his friend's son a video of children burning. Like,
Yeah, dude, but it's like the only thing Wilson has literally said in quotations is,
Are you sure you want to see this?
all right, that's fair. That's fair. At least change up the speech pattern.
yeah, just change it. I mean, yeah, I know. It's just comical. But anyways, go ahead.
I agree. I insisted on it, even though a voice in my head was telling me not to. The video continued. The cameraman moved towards the hole, showing a pit of fire. This was the hole that I had seen in the previous episode. Only this time, it was filled with shapes. I could see shapes moving around, fluttering, flailing, some motionless. I knew perfectly well what they were. The camera began to adjust to the light and burning flesh. Red, black, a blur of surreal movements and colors. I wish I could forget what I saw, but you can't forget a scene like this. This was not a horror movie. This was reality. Human beings were being killed in a horrifying way. A fate that I could have potentially met. The video suddenly cut to dawn. The camera now positioned farther away from the hole. The fire was out. However, there was still smoke rising up. A figure was up ahead. I recognized it right away. The Mr. Bear suit was laid out on the ground. Empty. It looked just as unnerving. The suit was laid out in the shape of a cross. The cameraman did a lap around the suit, treating it like a treasured artifact. Placed at the head of the suit was a sign in bold letters. INRI was printed. The cameraman moved back to the end of the suit, zooming into the bear's face. The episode finally ended. Oh, man. That
Creepy,
gives me
man.
that gives me the chills. Not only
Yeah,
killing the kids,
I feel like
but then making
it's that feeling.
Whew. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's that feeling where it feels like there's like spiders crawling on you or something. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like. I feel like, ugh.
After killing those kids, he lays out the suit in a crucifix. As if
Also,
as-
it kind
as
of
if
feels like
what
the death
he's-
of that character.
Yeah, it's almost like with what he's done, he has now crossed over, right? He's fulfilled his purpose. He's now the savior of his story.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like this idea, like this kind of deity that he has is officially completed the sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know.
Man. I was speechless. It was like a dream. You can find a lot of terrible things on the internet, but I had never seen anything like this. Wilson asked if I was okay, and I replied with a shaky...
Yes.
I assured him as we left that I was fine and that the video gave me some closure over the whole incident. He didn't seem too confident in me, but he left it at that. He was right, though. I had nightmares for weeks. I gave up. I didn't care about the whole thing anymore. A sick man burned a bunch of kids alive, attracting them with a fake kids TV channel. I could have been one of his victims, yet I'm still here. I suppose I should be grateful, but I feel guilty. Am I still here only by pure luck? 10 months later, I'm back, but now I need to address something else. My email's been flooded with messages. Some people ask for more details. Some ask if I can upload the tapes, and some people email me claiming to be Mr. Bear. First, I cannot get the tapes uploaded as they're A, in police possession as evidence, and B, I have no idea how to transfer VHS onto a computer. As for people pretending to be Mr. Bear, you're not fooling me. You have dozens of people pretending to be the same person. It doesn't work. I haven't seen a fake Caledon Local 21 YouTube channel, which is cute, but still not real. Even more annoying is the fact that someone hacked my account just to put up some demented poem about me on this blog. I'll leave it in the entry above this one, just to show you guys. I've contacted my webmaster about the entry and was told that it was posted on Halloween. Oh, spooky. Attached to the email, paintwithb@aol.com, which I assume is another joke email. I'm over episode 31 now. The images of what I saw will stick with me for a while, but I want to do one last hurrah. I will get into contact with Mitchell Wilson again and hopefully get set up with the tapes in the possession of the other Peel police branches. Try to update you guys as soon as I can. I'm sure this won't take so long again. Thank you to everyone who still reads this. Elliot.
Wow. I mean, it's interesting because you can see so many influences in what other people have done here, especially even like my mind kind of goes to like pen pal in a way of an obsessive person. Even like with the end of pen pal where it's the guy who was obsessed with this person so much that he dressed his friend up, Mm-hmm. And it's like this cult of obsession thing. The idea too of sacrificing and that kind of thing. I mean, reading this back in the day must have been extremely graphic. I mean, it was disturbing now, but I feel like now people have to push the stakes because of stories like this. Like this. I wonder how crazy this must have felt reading it back in 2011.
The description of the bodies burning so intense, some still, some moving, some slowly, man. Harrowing stuff. And then the following of the Mr. Bear costume in the shape of a crucifix. And then he's just supposedly, maybe he's out there, maybe not. Maybe it is people hacking his email. Maybe it is just legends of the thing that lives in the storm drain. Maybe it's still him. Maybe it's the ghost of him. Maybe it's, it's such a perfect place of like legends you heard as a kid and you don't know if it's real or not. It's such a perfect adaptation of you still in the course of the story don't know what's real or not. You don't know what to believe. Yeah.
There's no finality to anything, which makes it so much creepier.
That's it. That's the perfect way of phrasing it. Yeah, there's no closure. No part of this feels like, that's done. It's just like open doors, and none of them shutting.
The eerie nature of it being so open to is that, I think for me and probably viewers listening, is that the idea that any one of those joke emails are definitely probably joke emails, but it's just that all it takes is for one to be legitimate, to just completely unravel and make this thing even more fucking crazy, and the idea too that like he does know the Mr. Bear does know Elliot. I mean, he received that letter. Who knows? I mean, like Mr. Bear, the person who is still not, no one's contacted him or no one knows where he's at or who he is, could be obsessed. I mean, this is an extremely deranged man,
Yeah. I will say, I think the hack, quote unquote, that happened that showed it was the poem about him that Mr. Bear supposedly wrote. I do think that's real because of the 4-letter edition, right? Because it contains.
How else would they know?
How else would they know exactly? How would they know what was about to show up in the next tape? So.
And I think that's what that letter was doing. I think that's what that submission was doing.
So that would mean that he probably is still out there. Online,
not only is he still out there, but he knows Elliot. Like he knows what's going on and stuff.
And he misses him. He wants him to join him, right? So maybe an update never happening after that implies that Mr. Bear got him.
Yeah,
made him join the Angel.
You never know. I mean, ending it in this way is frustrating in the sense of like I just want to know closure of some kind, even if it's him saying like I'm done with this, I'm putting this behind me, blah blah blah. But even this last episode, he's like, no, I'm gonna go look for more and I'm gonna see what happens. But we never get that kind of. It's like a, in a way, Ted the Caver kind of ends in a similar way, except Ted the Caver gives you that ultimatum of like, I'll update you when I'm back, but he never comes back. You know what I mean? It's that beautiful ending. This one is just, we don't even, who knows, I mean, as we all have known, this entire time Elliot has been not teasing us, but he's been basically filling us in on like, hey, sorry, I've lost interest, my life kind of took a crazy thing, I don't know if I'll have time. So he's done this, so who knows? I mean, he could have also just been like, I just don't want to do it anymore, I don't want to update it, I'm tired of all the emails. So there's so many things, there's no finality to any of it, and it makes it really, really entertaining. And I can see how much did Candle Cove come after this or before this?
Let me look real quick. So the story got, like I said, it started in 2009. Final update was 2011. It blew up. I was wrong in saying that it had its first wave in 2014 with YouTube channels. It actually got its first wave when someone posted it to 4chan's X board on September 9th of 2012. And when that happened, that's when people started to notice, started to go to the original blog site, whatever.
I see.
So 2012 was when it got popular. It was published in 2009 on his website, on Chris Straub's personal website.
Regardless if whichever one came first, I think that like either one could have been inspired by each other, but one thing I really appreciate about this is that it starts off and it kind of has some weird, creepy vignettes, but I'm glad that we do get to kind of go in more of a narrative device of stepping away from like each post just being new entries, which, there are a lot of entries of the tapes and stuff like that, but we get so much more out of just being able to get the narrator's perspective on things and being able to really feel enticed with this world. Like, I mean, one thing that I really appreciate about like some of the stuff that came after these were like really early creepypastas is people really taking time and like really getting into like the characters, or especially our protagonists and stuff, not making it feel like it's just kind of a random blog post, but really like pushing the idea that like these blog posts can just, I mean, it can be a huge exposition dump for people. You know what I mean? Like, my favorite part of this whole thing was definitely running into the Beavis and Butthead looking kids and having that little urban legend kind of pop up. Like, I really enjoyed that, and I wish that there was just more to that. Which, granted, this it flows so well. Like you're saying, if you didn't have the Polo part, I think that, or the Polo part, I think that this would be just such a well-paced story that just is just awesome. Just such a fun read, first off. So casual and fun. But part of me also, because I'm kind of invested into it, is just wishing that each one of these, like, we got to hear more, even like some of these. One thing I think would be kind of interesting, I'm curious to hear what you think, is even getting to see more of these joke emails.
Yeah, seeing what more people are saying, even if it is just set dressing for the world.
Exactly. Even if it is just kind of, I want to get more and more into the psyche of having to read these as well, like that, like building sympathy for Elliot and feeling as confused as he is, like sharing more of them. Hey, here's a string of stuff, or even just being like, someone sent me this, it's getting really annoying or whatever. Like, I think that way, I feel like I would have been. It's just a giant teeter-totter. It's just kind of going back and forth, whatever. I think that's really fun. Really, really fun. I'm glad we read this one, man. This was fun.
Yeah, it does go hard. There is one thing that's bothering me, though. I swear I remembered a different tape. There was an extra tape that I kept waiting for it to come up, and it's not. And it's honestly kind of freaking me out a little bit now. Because I remember,
you have your own personal thing going on.
Yeah, because that's the whole plot, right? Like, I forgot that I saw this as a kid, but I swear there was a tape that the whole episode was just hands. It was like just hands on camera, like talking, like, "Oh, what do you want to do today?" And then one of the hands cuts the other with scissors, and you could hear like a muffled scream when that happens, as if like it's Mr. Bear holding the kid's hand and making him cut himself.
Do you think that this could have been a tape, like maybe it's a tape that isn't
I feel
a
like
part
I'm
of the
going
series?
insane, right? Hold on, I'm gonna find this out, because when it didn't happen, I'm like, oh, it must be Candle Cove, but I look it up and that's not Candle Cove. Hold on, now I'm scared. Oh, I will mention while I'm looking, this actually got adapted in 2017 to an Amazon Prime series, a miniseries, or Amazon Video. But there were also there's a ton of like alternate 1999 stories out there where like people wrote, oh, well, this is a lost Mr. Bear episode, or this is another Booby episode, stuff like that.
So I'm curious. Like, is there anything that we can research that shows that possibly why these were removed?
Yeah, I think
I'm
so.
curious.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Or maybe even somebody, if anybody in our comments knows as well, we'd love to pin or do anything too. I mean, like, just because that was the last Booby entry there, so I'm curious to see why.
I feel like there's some creepypasta community lore here that I'm not privy to, but I want to know. I remember when that happened, when I'm so ready for whatever
it's truly a yin and yang kind of situation of somebody who is going in already having dodged all the bullets, and now you're going in with, you know, hellfire raining down on you. So I hope you're ready.
Yeah, I remember.
It's a
I
pretty good
remember
one.
the broad strokes of the story, but like I said, it's been a while, so I can't wait for how terrible this is going to be.
Yes, and without further ado, I will get us started in here. We also heard some feedback from your guys' stuff, so we will be reading directly from it and, you know, getting you all loosey and juicy in the story here. So, as a child, it's 10-year-old H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Illuminating from between my curtains were a pair of tools.
You know I'm above all this?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm supposed to be on RuneScape. I don't want to be hanging out with Billy. I'm supposed to be
shit on it. It has a layer of charm to it, but it's the idea of like it's something charming because it's so amateur. But it's like what feeling though? Like I don't know what feeling it is. It's like is it supposed to be magical?
Feeling, Hunter. Gosh,
I literally thought that is true. It is a feeling.
It's a weird one.
I was wondering at this point, is it going to go into magic? It's what I thought, because it's like it's not a pain feeling, but a weird feeling, and I'm like, is he going to get superpowers somehow? I don't know. But
by the end of the story, he does. By the way, like I do remember.
He flies away and he has a
weird
cape.
it gets. Yeah.
Yes.
Also,
but
something I want to clarify, if you've never, for one of the reasons we're making fun of it as much as we are is this is one of the bedrocks of like internet horror and one of the things that got me into it originally. So it's like making fun of my grandpa, right? Like it's very important. Yeah. I recognize it's very important. I'm still going to mock it for like throwing up at Thanksgiving, right? Because it's
I think
still
that
funny.
People also need to understand that sometimes when you point and you are having fun with something, it's not that necessarily you don't like it, but I think it's like you can laugh at things that you appreciate and that you like.
Of course.
I think that people don't understand that. I think that's why so many people get up in arms when it's like, you don't like this thing that I like. And it's like, I do like it, but it is kind of stupid and fun.
Yeah.
So I think that it's, I like plenty of things, and I respect plenty of things that I love to point at that I know are objectively kind of shitty. But that's fine.
Yeah.
That's a part of the beautiful thing about just even these stories is that if all of them were bangers, none of them would be remotely special. Like, you have to have these kind of goofy ones to really appreciate not only the goofy stories, but the ones that are made,
you
know, that are very good. But anyways.
Hey everyone, so I wanted to take a break from the podcast to talk about how thankful I am that you all are here, and to talk about the real reason that we're here in the first place. And that's money. And by money, I mean saving money. And saving money has never been easier than with today's sponsor, the first sponsor of CreepCast, Rocket Money. Because I, for one, completely understand that between bills, subscriptions, eating, and other expenses, managing money can be hard. But now it doesn't have to be, because Rocket Money is here to help. Rocket Money is the all-in-one financial platform that helps you save more and spend less. Rocket Money is the personal finance app that allows you to set budgets, cancel subscriptions, lower your bills, and all around, be smart with your cash. I can't tell you how many times I had a recurring payment that I wasn't aware of, that I ended up paying for over a year on something I wasn't even using, or I planned to spend a certain amount on an expense, but I ended up going way over budget. But with Rocket Money, you can get rid of the headache, because it allows you to set budgets for things that you plan to spend money on, and then give you notifications based on your spending. Rocket Money also keeps a tab on all of your recurring payments and allows you to cancel them in one easy step. Rocket Money even allows you to keep track of your investments and get an idea of your net worth, and set up a savings account that you can withdraw from at any time. And if that wasn't enough, Rocket Money even helps you negotiate your bills and monitor your credit. Rocket Money is the one-stop shop to keep track of what you earn. Finances can be complicated, especially around the holiday seasons, and it's best to have someone in your corner. So why not make Rocket Money that special someone? Rocket Money has helped save its customers an average of $720 a year and cancel over $500 million in unneeded subscriptions. And with today's offer, there's never been a better time to join the over 5 million users already on the platform. That's because if you head to the link in the description at rocketmoney.com/creepcast, you will be able to get started on Rocket Money for free. From there, you can unlock premium to get even more features, but for now, you can just head to the link in the description and see if you like the app with no cost to you. Again, that's rocketmoney.com/creepcast to get in on this incredible financial tool today. Thank you so much to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. It really does mean the most. Hope you all check them out. Link is in the description, and we are back to the show.
Jeff has a similar feeling the next day. That weird feeling. He has the feeling the next day. All right? Except this time he compares it to a tugging pain. So I'm like, okay, well now he's having a heart attack or something. I don't know what's happening to him. But he dismisses it. Good man. You know, Jeff,
Jeff and Lou look over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect a sidekick to have. That's pretty mean to just be like, he looks like a sidekick.
You're a sidekick, Keith. You look just like a sidekick. He's like, really? I'm Keith.
And he's Troy. They look over at the fat kid. Talk about a tub of lard. That's not a quote. That's the story calling him a tub of lard.
That's a legitimate quote.
Yeah,
from the story. Yeah. Talk about a tub of lard. Jesus.
The narrator had to be like, this kid was fat.
Well, read the next line.
This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was crawling. What? Why is the narrator telling us that?
That's really got to put into emphasis how fat this child is. Child obesity is such a problem in this country.
He had to break character to explain to the audience how fat this person was.
He's large. So large.
And I, said the first kid, am Randy. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there's a small price for bus fare, if you catch my drift. This 12-year-old's running a racketeering scam, if you catch my drift. Lou stood up, ready to punch the lights out of the kid's eyes, when one of his friends pulled a knife on him. Bro, what?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Dude, I think I just remembered where this is going. This story's insane. When I read this at like 11 years old, this all made sense. I'm like, yeah, this is clearly a viable like story. This could happen, but oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hitting every possible cliche it can. It's trying to be 7 different stories. So far, it's trying to be. It's basically like it starts off with a Jason Statham action sequence, and now it's veering its way into like It territory.
Yeah,
is what it feels like. Like the weird like bullies who have like they're like speakeasy like 1950s doo-wop haircuts and knives, and they're riding skateboards. Yeah, and they're like tisk tisk tisk. You know what I mean? Like it's
they
unbelievable.
Literally pull a knife on another child. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Which also, what child did you ever know growing up who had like a butterfly knife? What child at all did you know growing up threatened somebody with a knife that wasn't born in 1933? Yeah. I need to know. I have to know.
I'll give you this. From East Tennessee, I knew a lot of kids had knives, like, because we thought it was cool. I was never in a knife fight. I never knew someone my age who got into a knife fight. That's true. That doesn't happen that much.
Yeah, I guess it could just be like a random little pocket knife. I just always imagine like the one that you click the butterfly knife, or like the one you like click it and it like slips out.
Yeah, it's like a stiletto knife.
Yeah, exactly. A stiletto, exactly. Like one of those where it's just like, don't be screaming to nobody.
You'll be sleeping with the fishes.
You'll be sleeping with the fishes when I dice you up with my little knife.
Literally a child, not even
he's
a
12 years old
yet, man. Okay, all right.
Does not have any hairs on his balls. He is just a prepubescent child, probably.
So he has to be like, hey, I'm gonna cut you with my knife.
You sound like Mickey Mouse. Like Mickey
It is Mickey Mouse. Every prepubescent boy sounds like Mickey Mouse. I digress. Go ahead.
So, after he pulls a knife, he says, "Tis, tis, tis. I had hoped you would be more cooperative." Okay.
Yep.
All right. We're going to be here all day if I don't power through, but oh my god.
Yeah, we're gonna have to just power through.
Yeah. I was hoping you'd be like he's a Sith Lord, like he's Darth Vader. I hoped you'd be more cooperative.
you would be more cooperative, young Jedi.
Yeah, it's like Marlon Brando. So he throws that kid.
Literally.
He just throws that kid in the police car, and then the mom's like, "Yeah, I mean, sure, it's still my son, but who cares? Like, get over it."
It's just
Picks Jeff up by the back. It's literally the fight thing, like going somewhere.
I'm telling you exactly.
He picks Jeff up by the back of the collar and throws him through the patio door. As Jeff tries to stand, he's kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he starts coughing up blood. "Come on, Jeff, fight me." He picks Jeff up and throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter and smashes the glass over Jeff's head.
It's a 12-year-old. This is a 12-year-old, by the way. This is a 12-year-old. This is a gang of a posse of 12-year-olds doing this. Just want to put the
They've got guns aimed at the parents right now. Like,
they have
what?
12-year-olds have guns at gunpoint, keeping everybody hostage basically while this fight is happening.
In a quote nice neighborhood.
in a quote unquote fancy and nice neighborhood.
Okay, so he smashes vodka over Jeff's head and goes, "Fight!" He throws Jeff back into the living room. "Come on, Jeff, look at me." Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood. "I was the one who got your This is so good. "I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC, and now you're just gonna sit there and let him rot in there for a whole year? You should be ashamed." Jeff starts to get up. "Oh, finally, you stand and fight." "Oh, finally, you stand and fight." Jeff is now to his feet, blood and vodka on his face. Once again, he gets that strange feeling. He gets that.
I got a feeling.
Oh my gosh. The feeling keeps showing up. Once again, he gets that strange feeling, the one in which he hasn't felt for a while. I thought he was feeling it that day. Or okay,
He's felt it continuously for
through
a
the whole
fucking
story.
week now.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Finally, he's up, says. In my head, Randy sounds like Vegeta. Like, everyone.
Finally, he's up.
Yeah. Finally, he's up, says Randy as he runs at Jeff. That's when it happens. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed. All rational thinking is gone. All he can do is kill. He grabs Randy and pile drives him to the ground. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart. What?
Yep.
Whoa! The punch causes Randy's heart to stop? No way! This 13-year-old just punched a 12-year-old's heart and killed him.
Punches him in the chest.
He one-punched him? What the heck?
Gives him the fucking 5-finger death punch from Kill Bill.
This is the strongest 13-year-old ever. He literally punched it. I was joking about this being like a Dragon Ball fight. This is actually a Dragon Ball fight.
Yes.
Like, he's on the ground
so
getting
anime.
kicked. It's the scene with the camera zooming in, like, come on, and you can hear, like, the guitar, and he's, like, powering up. Yeah, exactly. The punch causes Randy's heart to stop. As Randy gasps for breath, Jeff hammers down on him. I thought he was already dead. Punch after punch. Blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies. He punched a child to death. He's also a child. What?
He punched a 13-year-old child, punches a 12-year-old child to death. Your stupid little head, Lou.
Idiot! They don't get it.
They don't get it. Lock him up. You know what? You're not going free tomorrow. Never mind.
It's just a prison full of children.
Literal children. It's like Willy Wonka's. This is the security system of Willy Wonka's factory. Just tons of kids. You wanted the chocolate, but you broke all the rules.
It's like Randy has the police paid off. He's like
he
the
gives us a good
Clintons.
share.
He's got like all these people. Yeah.
I wonder how much Randy was making a year.
How
much
off
he
of
made
his bus
every
stop
fiscal year.
screen? Probably a whole $37 if he was robbing like 10-year-olds for money.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, how much really are people taking to lunch?
But in this story, like the way that like this is written, those 10-year-olds probably have a 401k. So I don't know.
That is true. It is a fancy neighborhood. You have to assume they're rich kids.
That's true. That's true.
It is a very fancy neighborhood.
All right, so I'll continue. Yeah, it just says the story. I have the story pulled up to compare against notes to make sure we're right. Yeah, she just leaves.
Yeah, she's like, you guys will be together tomorrow. I'll talk to you later, burn victim.
Yeah.
Bye, son. I know you're probably in tons of pain, but mommy has to go home. She needs to drink.
It says the next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visited by his family. They visited? They didn't stay at the hospital?
They did not stay at the hospital, which also just goes to show how unsympathetic his mom is. His mom doesn't even stay. She doesn't even care. She's just like, he's in the hospital. He's fine. When you go home, I want you to sleep in my bed.
Oh my
Jeff's a big boy. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
This story is what... Oh, yeah.
I love that the doctor says this. He's like, oh, yes. This behavior is typical for patients that have taken very large amounts of painkillers. If his behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring him back here, and we'll give him a psychological test.